The New Zealand Gaming Championships League of Legends Premiership is presented by Let's Play Live, Australasia's new home of esports at LetsPlay.Live. Logitech G, bringing you winning gaming devices. Mice, keyboards, headsets and controllers. Game with passion, win with science. Logitech G. Twitch, the world's leading social video platform and community for gamers. Twitch.tv. The NZGC is powered by Playtech. Technology at play. Playtech is the #1 custom PC system builder in New Zealand. Visit playtech.co.nz. Players stay at Adina Apartment Hotel at Britomart, Auckland. Book today at adinahotels.com. Adina, official accommodation of the NZGC. Now, let the gaming begin.
Yes, good evening and welcome to Sky Sports' exclusive coverage of the New Zealand Gaming Championships 2016. This is the final match in round robin play, so there is plenty at stake for not only these two teams, but also all other teams in the New Zealand Gaming Championships. Now, the game of choice is League of Legends, played by 100 million players worldwide, and tonight, 10 of the very best players in New Zealand in the form of Too Easy Gaming up against Tigereye. My name is Dwan. Good evening to everyone at home, and alongside me for expert comments and analysis, I have Cam Crunch Russell, former pro player, and Jonathan Arcadian Jansen. Gentlemen, another big night in the Hexedome, but it's an interesting one because the scenario that could play out as the last match of round robin.
Yeah, so we've seen Villains have lost their throne to King 5. They're sitting in first. They're waiting to see who tonight will come through as the second place. Villains, Too Easy and Tigereye can all clinch that spot. The other two are sitting at the bottom.
Yeah, well, and I want to talk to you about the pressure, right? The last couple of matches that we've seen in the Hexedome, last week, the week before, one team has folded, one team has dominated. It is the pressure that is the Hexedome. You know, is there pressure on these two teams tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Every single time we've seen two teams come in here, the pressure has gotten to one of them. Once you get down, it is so hard to crawl your way back up, and if anyone can do it, it'll be one of these two teams. That's why it's so exciting.
Yes, we'll see very, very shortly. But let's catch up with Laurie Pops, and you can know the game.
Hey guys, it's Laurie Pops and I'm here to help you get to know the game. League of Legends is a game where strategy is key, and this all starts with a pick and ban phase. Each role needs to be able to pick champions which will work well with each other to cover weaknesses and amplify strengths within their game plan. There can only be one of each pick within a game, so picking away an enemy's favourite character will deny it from them, causing their entire team to adapt. This is an extremely important process and is usually directed by team coaches who specialise in the art of drafting optimal combinations for their team. The team on the left side of the screen will play on the blue side, which allows them to get first pick choice, generally used on a highly contested champion. However, many champions can be countered by the opposing team very easily, which gives the red team an advantage of having the final pick to round out their composition as effectively as possible. Before the game starts, teams will get a chance to take turns banning champions. Once banned, a champion cannot be picked by either team for use in that game. Teams will ban 3 champions each before moving into the pick phase. Players each get 60 seconds to select champions, which is generally used to discuss the best pick to suit the situation. This also gives enemies time to think as well, so teams with a clear plan can lock in quickly and force the enemy player to start their timer. Once the pick and ban phase has finished, teams will begin loading into the game to see which team's combination of picks and strategy will lead them to victory. It doesn't end there though. It'll take 2 victories in the NZGC to claim a match win on the day, giving teams a chance for a whole new approach each game. With literally millions of different combinations, the pick and ban phase is a vital component in every League of Legends match. Which team will mastermind their way to victory tonight? This is Laurie Pops signing out.
Thanks very much, Laurie Pops, and that is Know the Game. Gentlemen, I want to talk about, obviously, this King 5 and Villains, right? So King 5 are the champs. It doesn't matter what happens in the Hexedome tonight. How come they've been so good?
Well, they had 3 games. They won all 3 of them, but most importantly, 2-0 in 2 of them. Those give crucial bonus points. Now they're out of the reach of anyone else. They're safe. They've got that first spot.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Villains. So Villains, last year's champions, 10-time champions, they came into this as the favourites. But they're sitting here right now at home, and they've got to see what happens in this particular matchup. Where did it go wrong for Villains?
I think for the Villains, they're not the same team they were last year. Unfortunately, they were so good that some of their players got poached, and now they're looking at a different composition. Still have Dolphs to lead them, but they're a different team.
That's right. Well, let's have a look at exactly how the teams can earn valuable competition points in this last round-robin matchup.
The NZGC League of Legends Premiership consists of 6 teams of 5 players in 2 groups. Blue Group, Villains, 2 Easy Gaming and Tigereye. Red Group, King 5, Tigereye and Decode. Each team plays 2 round-robin matches in their group and 1 crossover feature match. All matches are best of 3 games. Points-wise, a 2-0 win gets you 4 points, a 2-1 win 3 points, and a 1-2 loss, a point. From week 4, it's playoff and elimination time, and the points scored in rounds 1 to 3 will create the seeding order as we head towards the business end of the NZGC, the grand final on Wednesday, October 12.
Well, let's make it nice and simple for everybody at home. Even on that comp explainer, it looks like there's 3 teams still at play here. Both teams in the Hexedome tonight. 2 Easy can go second. We can see Tigereye can go second. And, of course, the Villains can go second. So, look, it is a major matchup tonight. But, look, I want to come to you. I want to talk about 2 Easy specifically. They have a great roster, OPL quality roster in the form of 2 Easy.
Absolutely. They've got some of the strongest individually skilled players in the NZGC. 2 of them are heading off to the Oceanic Pro League next split, and so they've got a huge talent that could be utilised.
Yeah, and if we look at Tigereye, they've got to get it done 2 games to 0. So the simple question for everyone at home and for you is, are they good enough?
Yes, I think they really are. I mean, go back to week 1. They nearly 2-0'd King 5. I just said that King 5 were unbeaten, but they were this close to being able to take it out. We're a couple of weeks in. Maybe they can get their stuff together and try and actually close out that when they need it.
Yeah, well, look, we'll see very, very shortly. But look, let's head across and check out how the action unfolded over the weekend. And Saturday, very, very big result. King 5 got it done 2 games to 0 with a big stomp and moved to the unassailable first place on Sunday. We saw the Villains bounce back to win 2 games to 1, but again, destiny is not in their hands. But tonight, the big matchup, 2 Easy versus Tigereye, not too far away. If we have a look at how the standings are, King 5 guaranteed to be in the major semi-final next week here, and we have Villains sitting there pretty, but 2 Easy and Tigereye can get it done, right? So if you look at that, we talked about it. Villains have got to wait and see what happens, but the other 2 that we saw there in the form of the 2 teams here tonight in the Hexedome can win valuably. But look, I want to come again, I want to talk about Tigereye to you specifically, and I want to talk about the jungle, and I want to talk about Bomi. I mean, last week it was about the jungle. I mean, these teams line up a bit differently, but it's still very, very important. So talk to me about Bomi and what you like about them in the jungle.
Well, Bomi and Brawler have synergy going back to Oceanic Pro League. Those 2 are being able to control the vision in the jungle. That's going to be so crucial in order to shut down 2 Easy. We talked about Cupcake being able to move around the map. That's going to be crucial to actually see where he's going and try and catch him out and shut him down that way.
Yeah, well, it'll be very, very interesting. But look, I caught up with the captain in the form of Brawler from Tigereye earlier on, and he had a few thoughts about how the matchup might play out. Well, Brawler, you were here last year, but you have a new roster. How are you and the team looking forward to tonight?
I think it's going to be a good game tonight. I think it's going to be a pretty close one, I think.
And you need a 2-0 stomp to move through to second place. Very valuable in this tournament. What's the strategy for you and the team?
I think if we shut down their bot lane, because their bot lane is currently an OPL bot lane, if we shut them down, then they're weaker than us around the rest of the map.
Well, good luck tonight, mate. Well, there you have it. So, look, you know, he talked about the bot lane, and that's very important. I mean, that's where he plays. That's the strength of their team. So, look, good luck to them. I think they know they've got a big job. They've got to get it done 2-0. Otherwise, they're going to go into, you know, tougher matchup. But I want to talk about 2 Easy with you, Crunch. And specifically, I want to talk about their OPL roster.
Yeah, so you've got 4 players that have played in OPL. Top, jungle, and, of course, the bot lane heading in. It's a lot of experience coming into the Hexedome. It shouldn't faze these guys. You know, the pressure, they're the ones that won't crumble. It's the ones that have actually played on that stage before.
Yeah, they have, and they were here last year in last year's NZGC, a lot of the roster. So, you know, you know, the pressure of the Hexedome may not get to them, but we shall see very, very shortly. But look, I caught up with Blinky, the captain of Too Easy, and he was confident, to say the least. Let's have a look. Blinky, welcome to the Hexedome. It's your first time this season in the Hexedome. Are you and the team nervous?
We're not really nervous coming into it. We only think there's one team that's going to give us like pain, which would be King 5.
And your bot lane, arguably one of the best in the NZGC, but you're up against it tonight?
Yeah, we think that are respected players, but we'll do our best.
Well, good luck tonight. Well, there you have it. Look, I mean, Blinky, you know, confident, but not overconfident. He knows he's up against a very, very good team in Tigereye. And again, probably the most even matchup that we've seen in the Hexedome. But again, we shall see. So look, let's have a look at exactly how they're going to line up in the Summoner's Rift for this one coming up very shortly. Too Easy versus Tigereye. Well, Too Easy Gaming looking very strong in the lineup. We talk about Jack Attack. Look out for him, experienced campaigner. Rin Toyama in the jungle. Kale will be in the mid. Blinky in AD carry and the captain. And of course, Cupcake. Excellent as always. That is Too Easy Gaming. And if we look at the roster for Tigereye, again, solid. Rare Fiction in the top. We talk about Omi in the jungle. Artikal in mid. Look out for OK Tiger and AD carry. And it may be won or lost with support. And Brawler leading the charge. So not too far away from the big match. Too Easy versus Tigereye. Gentlemen, we're not too far away from the pick and bans and getting into the live action for everybody at home. So quickly, match number one, who gets it for you and why?
I think Too Easy coming off that last one. They're going to take the first one here.
So you go Too Easy here. What about you, Ark? What do you got?
Their name's Too Easy for a reason. It's going to be GG, Too Easy.
Too Easy for them. Look, I'm going to back, just because, you know, I like Brawler. I'm going to go with Tigereye. So, look, Tigereye for me, Too Easy for you two. We'll see shortly for everyone back home. But, look, we've got two important gentlemen standing by. They are our shoutcasters, and in traditional sports, they're also known as the commentators. They'll be guiding everyone at home through all the action. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
We're pretty good, Dwan. I don't know about you, but my heart is pounding. I'm really excited for tonight's matchup. This is probably one of the most important matchups we've had throughout the entirety of group stages. No match has decided standings more than this one.
And every series we've had so far has the potential to deliver either side of victory so far. And we've seen teams that were not favored to win absolutely crush their opponents in at least one game occasionally. And I feel like this game, both teams are favored to win.
Oh, yeah. And this could go either way. And like I said, I feel like we haven't had anything that could be this potentially tight so far. With all that in mind, I just want to get straight into these picks and bans. I want to see what these guys are bringing out for game one. I know that they would have done a ton of work in their strategies, and I'm shaking. My hands are shaking.
Honestly, it's going to be super important in this draft phase. Like we saw Laurie Pops talk about, it's one of the most important parts of the game.
Yeah, and already we're seeing that strategy. Lee Sin, absolute favorite champ of Bomi, just taking that right off the board with the bans. First one out, and then Vladimir and Cassiopeia away from our defense. The blue side here, Too Easy, they're really taking away as much as they possibly can from our defense. On the flip side of that, we've just got general strong picks. Blinky's Kaelin taken away, and then of course Nidalee away from Rin Toyama. Jack Attack though, he's got no Trundle, he's going to take Maokai, the other potato tank.
That's right, and Trundle as well can be played support, so targeting Cupcake just a little bit there. Rapid fire picks coming out right now.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. This is a really cool one. Rin Toyama has gone on to Zac, who we have seen just brushing the sphere of viable in the jungle. He's a really cool champion, really interesting paths to engage on the map because of how long range his engage is. And when you look at this whole team lineup, they've got that and the Maokai to follow up a dive. They've got a lot of safety in doing that. But that being said, there's the insurance policy pick for Tigereye, and that insurance policy is Tarmkanch.
That's right, such a crucial support when you're looking to focus on the bottom lane. Keeping your AD carry safe is crucial. Another thing about Tigereye's lineup as well is they have a lot of zone control. They will control the battlefield. They've got big area of effect abilities to cut off escapes and control the battlefield, like I said.
And they do it in quite an aggressive way if you think about it, right? Because Aurelion Sol, their mid laner here, is very unique in that unlike most mid laners who sit at the back, they throw everything out. They're like sprinters, right? They throw everything out at once, and then they have to, they have to catch their breath for a moment before they do their next 100 meters, right? Aurelion Sol, he's like a 200-meter relay runner, right? He can actually keep going, and he likes to be up front and in the thick of it, as opposed to Arkael's Victor. Then to round this out, you have Gangplank to hold the entire mid-ground, you have Jin sitting way back, and I feel like if Too Easy want to dive onto Jin, which they will have to do, first they have to get past Rare Fiction and Artifans, and then there's going to be Brawler on hand to save OK Tiger's Muffin.
It's very, very different team compositions, because you see from Too Easy, they've got a double tank lineup. They've got the Maokai and they've got the Zac, both great to engage and follow up on that engage, and then have a very strong front line compared to Tigereye's single tank front line, and then to what I like to call the mid-liners in the Gangplank and the Aurelion Sol. And then if any of them get in trouble, Tom Kench is there to snap them up out of trouble.
And I think one of the most exciting things about this, about both of these team comps actually, is that both are not playing for the early game. They are both playing to fight and win in the mid-game. I mean, we've got Blinky on Lucian with a great mid-game power spike. Then we've got the sheer pushing power that comes out of Tigereye with that Aurelion Sol. And like we said, the mid-ground control. So we're going to see a ton of fights. I think it's going to be a really scrappy match.
Yeah, definitely look for... The only thing in the early game to look for would be the Rek'Sai and the unique ganking parts. But I think we have something to show you guys.
We do, because we have all kinds of thoughts about how this is going to play out. But of course, the other person who has a lot of thoughts is Cam Crunch Russell. So here is Cam's Crunch.
For tonight's key matchup in the bot lane, we will be looking at the supports, which is Cupcake from Too Easy taking on Brawler, the future OPL player in Cupcake versus past in Brawler. Everyone loves Cupcake. He's got a 75% kill participation, one of the highest in NZGC at the moment. Shows that he's involved in 3/4 of the kills that Too Easy are able to pull off. He can make his way around the map, and that is really putting them ahead in the early to mid game especially. Being able to shut him down here is absolutely key. But too many easy mistakes for Too Easy. We saw them get ahead against Villains all 3 games, but they really start struggling to finish these games out. It's going to be really hard to try and close games against Tigereye if they can control that vision. Good Karma. So we see Karma is a very contested pick at the moment, and Brawler especially is an absolute god on Karma. Whether they can look to deny him this, or whether it even goes through the pick ban, be able to take it away, you need to try and control this champion pool there. And number 4, blinding the eye of the Tiger. When it comes down to it, it's hard to play without vision, and especially if you're the shot caller. Brawler is the key for Tigereye here. If they can blind out his vision, try and shut him down and put him under pressure, it's going to be very hard for him.
I think we have to change his name to Captain Punch after all of those puns. That was outstanding pun game, but he's really hit the nail on the head there, I feel. The keys to the game for both these teams. And like I said, I am expecting a lot of really scrappy team fights.
I was also talking to Crunch a little bit before the game, and he thinks the best strategy for Too Easy is to just focus on the bot lane, specifically Brawler, because he's the team captain, he's also the shot caller, so it's disrupting the brains of your team can absolutely crush any hope of strategy, which is so important in League of Legends.
Exactly. Break the thumb and the whole hand hurts. That's the way to go about this. And I feel like that's actually true for both of these teams, both in how they're going to play fight and how they're going to put their pressure down in the early game. And of course, the way they want to put their pressure down in the early game is going to be those junglers there. You can see Bomi and Rin Toyama, and there's all that and more to be seen in this first game as we hit the rift for match 1 of Tigereye versus Too Easy.
It's the last match of the group stage, and it's the battle for the 2nd place seeding into the playoffs. So important to get that crucial seeding because it matters so much. It gives you a much easier path into the grand final, which is, well, what we're all here for.
Absolutely is. Both teams, very defensive fan out, not surprising at all. Oh, I'm so pumped. I was shaking before. I'm practically making everything here in this room just vibrate. I'm so excited for this. Like I said, these two teams are so incredibly evenly matched, and they've picked some really, really stunning team comps here. This could go either way. This could absolutely go either way.
Absolutely, and that's what we want to see, right? An exciting matchup where either team can win. Have a look at Blinky and Cupcake, though. These guys are cheeky as heck. They definitely want to try and get a few bits of early damage right there.
Yeah, while we've got a moment here, We'll draw your attention up to the tops of your screens. We're going to go outside in. Follow us along the scoreboard. Of course, on the very outside, you have the two teams and their respective scores in this series. 0-0. No one has won any games yet. In from that, you have Dragons. That is a neutral monster. We'll see more of that later. And that counter is going to count how many dragons the team has taken. Next one in from that is the turrets. Looks a little bit like a chess piece up on your screen. That is the number of enemy turrets you have destroyed. In from that is the gold total, currently at 2.5k, the starting amount for both teams. And then in from that is the all-important kill counter. So, of course, right-hand side, red color, is Tigereye's kills. Blue, left-hand side, too easy.
Easiest way to tell if a team's winning, how much gold they have, honestly. Of course, that's not going to be the be-all, end-all strategy for that, but if you're a little bit lost, have a look to that. Now, very quickly, look at this early damage.
Cheeky move. They knew that OK Tiger and Brawler were coming out of the jungle, having already taken a bit of damage from the neutral mobs in there. And Blinky and Cupcake put a little bit of early harass down. They're just going to make it just that little bit harder for Brawler and OK Tiger to start this lane off safely.
Of course, it's all important to get those last hits on the minions as well, and keeping the enemy duo away from that. Have a look at this mid lane. Artifern's putting out a lot of damage.
A lot of damage. Exactly, a lot of damage, a lot of pressure, and it's really common to give a blue buff over to Aurelion Sol early. Now, Rek'Sai is one of the junglers that can absolutely do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that pathing, actually. He's already going aggressive on the vision game here. Of course, vision, one of the key things for the jungler to control. That is how you get all the information you need.
Yeah, both junglers, well, actually, just Bomi is going for a recall, probably to get a few more of those wards, also buy a few more items. Wards, super important, right? Getting that vision down.
Yeah, vision is kind of like eyes where you aren't. It's a bit of a funky one for you, but super important. The more you know about where the enemy is, and the less they know about where you are, the more the game is in your hands. You have the control and the element of surprise.
So
Out of Ferns in the mid lane. Just having to farm up, and all the laners, like we said, just taking it easy to start with. We're not going to see much funky stuff going on early. These are teams that just want to play for the mid game and really start fighting then.
And speaking about the mid game, if you look at the minimap, you can see a little fire icon in the bottom right hand of it. That means it's an Infernal Dragon, great for team fighting.
And of course, the minimap is that little map on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And to give us a little bit more info of that, we are joined... Oh, before we do that, actually, Rare Fiction, ooh, a little bit tight, gets away. Surprised to see that going on, but in any case, he's going to get out fine. We have joining us Arcadian to talk to us about the minimap, what that is going to let you know.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here on the caster desk for the first time, talking about the Infernal Dragon. It's basically what it does is it gives you a strong entire team. Every single member of your team gets a little bit of a buff, gets a little bit stronger, and it helps you overall. And so it's a very important thing to get in the early game.
And of course, the key thing to all of this is your champion's stats, is what we call them. They're just things like how much damage you can do, how much damage you can take. And with that in mind, Bomi wants to deal a bit of damage. Flashing forward, looking for Cupcake. Just takes a little bit in response as Cupcake blows a flash. And Brawler gonna get up fine.
So importantly in that, Bomi came in, he gave a little bit of breathing room to Tigereye, not securing any kills. OK Tiger didn't have the help to commit to a team fight, or to a skirmish down there. So no committed kills, and burning the flash on the jungler, but also Cupcake's flash is down now too.
And that is absolutely key pressure for that bottom lane. OK Tiger and Brawler, they could turn that breathing room, you know, it's give an inch, take a mile. Never mind all that though, because we've got another gang being lined up by Rintoyama. He hasn't spotted out that Artiferns is backing though, so he's actually just going to let this one go, not going to quite go for the gank. And of course that back, that is a recall that allows you to return to your base.
And Rintoyama getting deep in enemy territory, dropping those wards that we're talking about before, leaving vision. What that means is he can now track the enemy jungler. Bomi, every time he goes past that, Rintoyama and the rest of his team are going to know, which means they can react on the other side of the map with pure aggression.
And of course, the key thing about vision, wards are invisible to the enemy team. There are ways you can spot wards, but you need to be able to use those in order to actually find those wards, take them out, and deny whatever vision the enemy team is trying to get. So it is kind of like a chess match between these junglers here, trying to place vision and trying to deny the enemy's vision. And it is an ongoing battle that is going to last all game long.
So while we're looking at this mid lane, right, you can see Artiferns has got a significant CS lead. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can compare the CS, which is how many minions they've last hit, which is directly tied to how much gold they can get. So him being ahead in that means he's going to be stronger as we move into the mid phase of the game.
And of course that strength comes from something we talked about just a moment ago, the base. Back in the base, there is a shop from which you can buy items. Those items will give a flat, raw boost to your champion stats. You will be stronger, you will hit harder, and you can take more of a beating. So a little bit tight for the early parts of the game, but like you said, that little bit of a lead starting to emerge, especially up in the top lane for Rare Fiction. Let's be blunt. What is that going to mean here? Because this is a Gangplank. This is that mid-ground control for Tigereye.
So Gangplank, he's a late-game champion, right? He traditionally has a very rough early laning phase, but the fact is he's against a Maokai. He can basically go wild, get as much farming done as he can, killing those minions with the last hits and getting that gold to buy the items to scale into the late game. And honestly, he's what we like to call almost a bit of a hyper carry.
Yeah, hyper carry meaning someone who doesn't just deal a lot of damage. They deal all of the damage. They can put the team on their back. That is where the term carry comes from. It is like you are physically carrying your teammates because you are the strongest. And a hyper carry does that with exceptional ability, but only very late in the game.
Now, Rin Toyama, he's hanging around looking for that long-range engage that we were talking about, that elastic slingshot. He doesn't think he can get it,
doesn't quite want it. He's just loving the pool party skin. Actually, he and Bomi both with pool party skins on, really looking to make a splash in the early game here.
Oh, please don't. That's the ultimate burn for RKL in the mid lane.
Just putting down the pressure. And I kind of like that, actually. He's just trying to keep Artifans shoved in because, of course, Artifans wants to shove RKL in, wants to put pressure on him, draw the jungler's attention, etc., etc. So RKL, you know, kind of doing what is to be done against him.
Yeah, definitely getting the work done there in the mid lane. But if you draw your attention to the top of the screen, you can see there's a slight gold lead for Tigereye. And that's about 1,000. Now, doesn't look like too much, but we're only 7 minutes into the game. And an early game lead like that can snowball your team to victory.
It absolutely can. And that early lead is directly in the hands of Rare Fiction, who we just said could benefit from it so much in the later parts of the game there. Bit of a skirmish in the bottom lane now. Cupcake, they're really trying to find the aggression, but they can't afford to go too deep because there's the ultimate out from Gangplank, the Cannon Barrage. Oh, there's the first blood already going down. Blinky knows he has to go hard or go home, and it is going to be him being sent home by OK Tiger with a solid double kill.
And the professional bottom lane falls into one of the easiest traps in the game. Tigereye using that global ultimate from Gangplank, he can just throw it across the map and they walk right into that trap, and Tigereye were ready to catch them. That's 2 kills on their 80 carry.
That is 2 kills indeed, and we were just talking about snowballing. What are those 2 kills going to mean for this team, Arcadian?
Snowballing is essentially, this is like NFL, it's a game of inches. It's about getting the small advantages and using them to build a tiny bit, and you can see Tigereye doing that right now. They're now going for the dragon after that small advantage and pushing forward to try and pull it back and stop the snowball.
And that is a really smart dragon caller as well. Of course, the bottom lane for Too Easy was dead. You can't be there when you're dead. There was no numerical advantage for Too Easy. An absolute gap for them, and a gap in the vision as we saw. The camera actually flicked over, the screen went dark. That was Too Easy's vision being shown there. They had no idea that Tigereye took that dragon away.
And importantly, with that dragon, like I was saying before, Infernal Dragon buffs your stats so you can do 4 damage during a team fight. And both teams wanting that dragon because their team compositions revolve around fighting later on. And as you can see, the little flame icon means the next dragon to spawn is going to be another Infernal Dragon. They just stack right on top of each other.
Yeah, we talked about that game of inches. A % boost to stats could be all it needs to tip this in favor of Tigereye. They're already going to try and leverage those inches into miles here. Blinky now completely surrounded. Rin Toyama flying in for the defense, but it's a 2 versus 4. They're just outnumbered now. Teleport committed, and the collapse from Arcale in the mid lane. Out of Ferns in a lot of trouble. Drops on down. Jack Attack is on OK Tiger. Brawler pops the thick skin to try and get out. Jack Attack limping away is going to be fine as OK Tiger drops. Brawler, it's all over for him, and Bomi under the turret as well. Rin Toyama is going to take a little bit more damage, but with his passive, it's going to be safe. Splits into 4 blobs, going to go back into the one big guy, and Too Easy turned that gank right in their favor.
and that was too easy. Arriving to the pool party just in time to take out the victory there. And you can see Rintoyama, he was miles away, but because of Zach's long-range engage, could jump in. And the fact is, Jack Attack, he teleported down. Rare Fiction only committed his ultimate. Teleport was burned, but it must have been cancelled.
Yeah, I think it was burned to maybe even get back to his lane. But, you know, everything we saw there, and I'd love to maybe even see a replay of that, was all down to the junglers, right? Think of your jungler like an open side flanker in rugby. They're not necessarily the guy, but they are always beside the guy. And we saw that right there with Rintoyama coming flying in to the defense of his team here.
There he is. He's already arrived into the party. And Brawler trying to keep his carry safe, but there are too many people on low health. And just the fact that Jack Attack committed down to the bottom lane, and there's the teleport actually from Rare Fiction, it got cancelled.
And we saw that right at the end. Like I said, think of them as an open side flanker. Jack Attack and RKL, they came in, they did all the work, and there just to make it mean something, to turn it from a flashy looking move to a kill and an advantage was Rintoyama to scoop up, secure the kills, and even up the gold score.
That said though, after that fight, there was no dragon to get, and if you look back up to the gold scores, Tigereye still slightly ahead despite being 1 kill behind, and that's almost entirely from their CS lead in the top lane. Look at that, 94 to 71.
That is absolutely significant. The saying goes 20 CS equals 1 kill in terms of the gold lead it gives you, but never mind the gold lead, because we could see another kill going down here. Bomi giving them a lot of respect here. Rintoyama, like we said before, ready to follow up on RKL's damage, ready to make it happen for RKL, but Bomi does escape this time.
And the crucial reason that Tigereye backed out from that was that their bottom lane, Brawler and OK Tiger, locked up underneath their turret. Blinky and Cupcake, despite dying a few times, have control of the lane.
They are feeling confident in this one. That's the ultimate out of Lucian, the culling. Lots of shots, lots of damage. Brawler eats the whole thing to the back. Now Rintoyama does get spotted out by a ward, but he was ready to make that happen. Now Bomi doing to Rintoyama what was just done to him, going to force him out of that jungle. Rintoyama, though, happy with the vision control that he's got. They are just going to gladly back away from that lane.
Oh no, Artiferns, is he maybe a little caught out? No, he can fly over walls. Actually, really important change there. In the latest patch, he can now activate his flight at any time. Doesn't have to wait for it to ramp up. So really key that he was able to escape from that because of that latest change.
Yeah, and a couple of interesting changes with him, actually. He needs to really rely on items now to get his damage right up there. He doesn't just naturally get it anymore. But, like you said, he's got a bit more escapability. So, a little bit less hardy, a little bit less tanky, but he can escape a bit easier. Never mind escapes. Blinky's going to need some here. The ultimates are all thrown down. The curtain call from the Jin. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot goes wide. 4 shot, 2. And Blinky, fancy feet under the turret, eats no damage from all of that being thrown at him.
Yeah, a little bit of a waste of an ultimate there. Artifan's still in a bit of trouble here, but he's got his team to back him up.
There it is again, the open side flanker ready to make something happen as Artifans look to be in a little bit of trouble, but Bomi there has his back.
Yep, so ultimates, pretty big word that we're throwing around here, and Arcadian here, I think he can tell you a little bit about that.
So every champion has an ultimate ability, and this is their absolute premier ability. It is usually exceptionally stronger and more effective than their other abilities, and it's great at changing the game. You saw earlier, Gangplank, the champion way in the top lane, he ended up deciding a fight in the bottom lane with his ultimate ability.
We're no doubt going to see some ultimates blown here. That is Rintoyama dropping his down. The Let's Bounce on top of Brawler, who still gets out. He's just got too much health right now. Rintoyama taking some chunks in return.
And if you look at the mini-map, Bomi on that Rek'Sai has reacted to this. He's gone into enemy territory on the other side of the map to get vision and to steal the crucial blue buff.
And this is that chess match. Rintoyama makes a move, Bomi responds. It is all in the mind for these junglers.
Yeah, and throwing the smite down as well on the wolves. That's going to keep vision in the enemy territory as well. Really crucial as well, especially because Rare Fiction is dominating in this top lane on a Gangplank of all champions.
Come back strong. Rare Fiction now going to back on up. Has that teleport to get back to lane to keep the pressure on. And we're starting to see Tigereye's game plan emerge. It is all about building that CS lead up in the top lane and keeping that bottom lane safe so that they can have a devastating fight later on. We've just seen a really key item get picked up by Rare Fiction. Let's talk about that.
So Rare Fiction on Gangplank picked up Trinity Force, which is what we like to call a power spike item. Really key to get him now. I wish we had more time to talk about it, but Rintoyama's about to go in.
He's charging it up. He cancels it. We've got time.
He heard me. He wants me to talk about this, right? So Trinity Force, item spike. What does this mean, Arcadian?
Well, for some champions, you said before, some champions get power naturally. They're more than naturally talented types. Some of them have to work a little bit harder. Gangplank is one of those champions. He's a pirate. He has to swindle. He got the key item.
And now in the bottom lane, something is cooking up for Too Easy. Arcale has come all the way down from the mid lane. I think they've been spotted out. And again, OK Tiger and Roller are staying safe. That is Bomi's ultimate there. You can see him dash into one of his tunnels. There's little life rings there on the ground. And he's going to be in the area as well in case anything comes out for Too Easy, who are instead going to go ahead and take this dragon.
And this is reacting to the fact that Tigereye have no vision on this. They don't have any wards down. And look, they're going to walk in and see it and go, oh my god, no way!
Just like what they did to Too Easy before. The dragon gets taken out from right under Tigereye's nose. And now the dragons are kind of all even. So that inch advantage lost a little bit there for Tigereye. They do still have others though for themselves, notably that CS lead in the top lane.
And we also saw third dragon to spawn. It's another flame icon, another infernal drake. Key to both teams. They have one apiece right now, but they're going to both look to pick up that third one.
So I'm really curious to see how both of these teams want to try and work in towards this mid game. Because they do need to get those scrappy fights in their favor. They do need to set them up. These are not teams that can push turrets in a hurry, at least not yet. So I'm curious to see how they start to open out this game.
So both teams have an interesting way to take down turrets. Too Easy, they've got Zac. They can tower dive, which means you just jump right underneath the turret, take up its damage, and then try and kill the enemy or kill the turret. Tigereye, though, have positional advantage. They've got Rek'Sai with the global ultimate. Roller can eat up someone and take him right behind the enemy lines. But however, that's a flash force in the mid lane.
That is a flash force to Artifans. Now, does not have that available, but here is Bomi for the help. Arcale, wow, taking big chunks there. Artifans trying to close down, but Rin Toyama is here with the support. Roller coming in to save his team now as both top laners committing to teleports. It's going to be an all-out brawl here, but I don't know if anyone's going to die. Actually, might be Jack Attack because his team has abandoned him as the Jin ultimate starts off from the side, zoning out the rest of the team, and all alone, Jack Attack gets dropped.
And crucial lack of communication there. Too Easy needed to communicate to their top laner to cancel that teleport. Now, though, they lost the fight, they're losing the mid lane turret. That's what it's all about.
This is what we just said. I'm curious to see how they start to open it out. Well, this is exactly how Tigereye were planning it. They found that fight that they needed, they turned it straight into a mid-game turret. It's going to be traded for, mid-lane turret. It's going to be traded for that bottom lane turret.
What cost?
The turret score is even up the top of your board, but like you said, at what cost? Because Blinky is in trouble as the collapse comes in. Bomi on top of him. Oh, Blinky flashing out, dodging everything and all the damage. Cupcake to keep him alive. Fancy feet again.
And flash used, and they may be turning it around, but this is brave.
It is really brave. It will be a 4-on-4, and it looks like it's just going to be a retreat from Tigereye. They're going to make like a hockey goalie and get the puck out of here.
Both teams going to go and recall, and remember, they've got to recall back to their base to spend the gold and actually get the advantage. Now, we see the kills are even, and there's a slight turret lead now for Tigereye. Rare Fiction, he's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he got the turret, but he might actually pay for it with his life here. No collapse just yet. Rare Fiction, he's running for dear life. Jack Attack hot on his heels. There's the flash in. Another heal from Rare Fiction. One more auto attack will do it, and Jack Attack takes down Rare Fiction 1 versus 1. We do not see that a whole lot, but I tell you, if anyone can do it, it is Jack Attack.
Jack Attack absolutely premier on playing those tank champions. Now, as I was saying before he was doing that, the gold lead, even now being kills behind Tigereye, they're still ahead in that stat. And that's almost entirely on the gangplank. Rare Fiction, and like we were saying before, the later we get into the game, the more powerful he becomes. So it's super important that early in the game, he's ahead.
Oh, Cupcake in a world of trouble as he eats his stun. Roller getting the third pop of his passive. The stun to connect there as well. Eats him up, drops him out for his team. And OK Tiger enjoys that morsel. Rin Toyama tried to get there for the help, but has to back right away. And I want to talk about something here. One of the turrets we saw go down in favor of Tigereye was that mid lane turret. That is a super important one for the space it gives Tigereye to maneuver. We saw that just then. They are able to get in position with this numerical advantage.
And not to mention also the top lane turret. Bomi, he's going to get out of there, but with the mid lane and the top lane, oh my, they just wanted to fight.
They absolutely do. Roller going to eat up Bomi though, gets out nice and safe, and now they're able to turn it back around as the gangplank ultimate goes down. Arcale cannot commit any further, and Rin Toyama is zoned out, but Bomi too deep, too far in. Artifans in from the side though, turns it back around, finds Arcale. Now they're going to look for Rin Toyama. He's looking to go down any second now. They can't quite close down. There we go. He's into his passive state. They need to kill off those little blobs to secure out the kill now. Cupcake trying to come in to stop that from happening, but it's not going to be enough. OK Tiger scooping that one up, and a 2 kills 2-1 kill trade in favor of Tigereye.
Always looking for the trades. If you looked at the minimap during that fight, you would have noticed there were 2 members on the other side of the map, but also Cupcake was not there. It was a 3v4 for Too Easy. With a numerical advantage, Tigereye easily took the favorable trade there.
Yeah, and this is that game of inches and those scrappy fights we were talking about again. I would so love to see a replay of that, because this is Tigereye taking their small advantages, taking the space they have on the map by taking out that mid-game turret to set up for a numerical advantage. Let's take another look at how that played out.
Keep an eye on the mini-map, and also the fact that Gangplank could throw out his ultimate without committing. Jack Attack had to stay on the other side of the map, and Artifence, like you said before, he's the relay racer. He that goes the long distance, can do damage over time. And so he uses that to win this extended team fight.
Yeah, that was exactly what Tigereye want to be doing for the rest of this game. They've done it once, and if they can just keep on doing that, then, well, I tell you, this is a sure shot victory for them. Too Easy, though. They're probably still waiting on that big power spike out of Blinky and Arcale. How are they going to hit that?
Well, of course, Arcale, you know, he's in a prime position right now, ready to start locking down those crucial areas. Dragons spawning up in about 30 seconds, and there's a lot of tight spaces around there that teams need to control. And the Victor in the middle of the game with his ultimate ability are key to that.
Yeah, in fact, the Gangplank and Victor both kind of equals there with their ultimate, the zone control that it has. But of course, Arcale, his ultimate out-damages Rare Fictions by a mile.
And it can
that is something they're leveraging here. They get the out-rotate here. They've moved quicker than Tigereye, got some good damage on the turret.
Got to be super careful, though, because with the Tahm-Kench and the Rek'Sai, they can get flanked so easily. Dragon's going to spawn up now. Teams are so close in those corridors right now. I feel like it favors Tigereye with all the zone controls they bring, but Too Easy, if they get a good fight with a Zac engage, they can absolutely take it out.
Them, but Bomi steals away that Rift Scuttler, little lick of vision there by the Dragon Pit. That means that this is not a total control for Too Easy. This is something Tigereye can try and find a fight on, and he can guarantee they're going to look for that flank, actually. Bomi is going to backtrack, coming with the ultimate. The ultimate starting out now from Jin. Okay, Tiger landing down those shots. Rin Toyama, a little bit isolated from his team, takes too much, flashes out, gets away. Red Fiction now on the offensive, eats the Chaos Storm to the face, and it's so back and forth here, no kills just yet. Now it's going to be Too Easy trying to get on top of Tigereye, who are trying to take out the Dragon. But they have some low members. Eyes on Blinky now as he goes in. They steal it! Rin Toyama sneaks in for the steal. Now it's all on. Too Easy to retreat, but Tigereye not going to make it easy. Hot in their heels. They already dropped Cupcake. Looking for Arcale. The flash over the wall for Artifence. And it's so hard for Arcale to run away from that. It is the relay runner. Artifence, he can go the distance. Blinky now totally isolated. A Jack Attack, the last man standing, to limp away from that team fight. A solid clean sweep, but total outposition by Tigereye.
So what we saw there was Too Easy looking to trade the Dragon for maybe 1 life of their team. Instead, they traded 4, and that is not a trade you want to make. It resulted in Tigereye able to take down the bottom lane turret, and they're going to snowball this fight into taking another turret. Turrets give gold when you kill them as well.
They give a lot of gold, and you can see up at the top of the scoreboard now, Too Easy. With only 1 turret to Tigereye, it's now 4 turrets. That is a huge advantage, and you can see that reflected in the gold. Just under 10,000 gold. And we often talk about 10,000 as being the marker of a team destined to win the game.
So now, Too Easy, they're looking to engage fights very differently right now. They're not winning team fights. They need to find the enemy out of position. They need to do that by controlling the vision. And there's a whole lot of little totems around the map called wards. What do they do, Arcadian?
Wards are essentially the team's vision. Every single unit on the team, every single player has a small amount of vision that they can use to make decisions. And like you said before, this is a game of chess. Decision making is vital. Those little totems act as units that they can use to see enemy players and use that to make the best decisions possible. Some people would argue those are the most important units you can purchase in the game.
Speaking of units, look at Tigereye here moving as a unit. Rare Fiction keeping the pressure on in the bottom lane. It's the chess match. He's moving one way, and Too Easy have to respond. They're sending Jack Attack down, which means Tigereye are here with an advantage. They can just commit Rare Fiction's ultimate. It's almost like having him there without having him there. Tigereye looking to set something up around this Baron buff.
And just very quickly before this fight breaks out, Tigereye, their mid laner Artifence picked up Majaya's Soul Stealer. You have to be very confident to pick that up, but they're going in.
Yeah, this is confidence instead from Too Easy here. Throwing out a culling earlier, zoning out Tigereye. They just want to clear out vision, but it's not easy for them. Look at how much vision Tigereye have placed down. You can see the wards both on the screen and on the mini-map here.
Yeah, and Too Easy, the ball is really in their court to make the decisions here. Tigereye, they've got the control, but Too Easy need to be the ones deciding the fate of the game, if they want to take the victory right now, they need to be engaging, they need to be diving the enemy team. But Tigereye are just pushing down every single lane.
Yeah, it's so hard to do that, to make those proactive decisions. Actually, hold on a second. Never mind proactivity. Art of Ferns, that's the proactive decision right there. RKL going deep onto Art of Ferns. He committed to the fight. He won it. And this is the sign that RKL is ready to fight.
And look at this. We can already see Tigereye. They know they're a member down. They're backing off. They're not pushing down any lanes anymore. And it's crucial because there's a big purple worm up in the top left of the map. He's called Baron Nashor, and he's super important. What does he do, Arcadian?
The Baron Nashor is the ultimate boss of the map. He gives a huge power spike, which is to make them stronger. We've got a huge fight going on. I'll pass it over to you, Pixie.
Yeah, looks like they just want to try and back away from this one. Rin Toyama just saying, and stay out, Tigereye. They have the back one up too easy, get a lot of space. Now here's Rin Toyama, ready for that dive we talked about earlier. Right under the turret, gets dead onto Bomi. Brawler eats him up. That means OK Tiger throwing out the damage. He's a little bit vulnerable if someone can get onto it, but it's so hard because Rare Fiction is now arrived. They do pick off Rin Toyama. Now they want to keep the fight going back in their favor. Brawler coming in for the flankers. The Jin ultimate is out. The zoning control there as Cupcake forced off to the side, isolated from his team now, is surely a dead man. The straggler from the herd. In fact, they don't even want him. They don't even care. They've got their eyes on a bigger prize. That prize is the Baron buff.
Yeah, too easy. They're going to have to wait for their jungler to respawn. He's got Smite to secure the last hit on Baron.
Jag Attack's committing, but they don't have the numbers. Blinky's out of mana. RKL's only just arrived, and Jag Attack is already low. He's the only tank. RKL's trying to do what he can, but he's already low. Art of Ferns finds him. OK Tiger does drop on the side. So many low members on Tigereye. Blinky's ready to try and clean up. He's going to go for it. He's going to go big if he can get somewhere in there, but Art of Ferns, the marathon runner now, he has gone beyond a relay, is still doing work, still healthy, still dealing damage, and now he's going to look for Jag Attack. Finds him. Again, Cupcake, straggler of the herd, limping away, barely with his life. Rin Toyama here far too late now. Bomi recommitting. They are ready to keep this one going, to turn this into the game-ending lead.
And Tigereye actually putting out a surprising amount of damage in that fight. Watch here, as you can see, the Chaos Storm from Victor. Here he comes. He drops it on the enemy team. And they do a lot of AoE damage, but he gets exhausted and then immediately killed the second they see him. So too easy, they put up a fight, but they don't have the numbers here. And see, from the ultimate from Victor, a lot of members are too low to re-engage, but they find Blinky out of position, and that's the key where they come back into the fight.
And of course, AoE standing for Area of Effect. That is damage that sits on a spot on the map, deals damage to everyone inside that area rather than something that is single target. So often it's more people but less total damage. But that Chaos Storm, that breaks all the rules. There's a ton of damage on a ton of people. But if that wasn't enough in that fight, then what can Too Easy really do to get back in this game, Smite?
Well, I mean, just look at the scoreboard, right? They're behind in gold, they're behind in turrets. The one thing they're ahead in is those dragons. So if they can find members out of position, which Zach can jump right on top of them if they need to, that's really their best hope right now, and the best way to do that is to control vision. But Jag Attack, this is not how you do that.
Not at all. He's going to get collapsed on by all members here of Tigereye. Too Easy going to try and do the same up at the top side against Rare Fiction. But if they can't get that, then, well, what's the use? Here's going to be Tigereye. Rare Fiction, he's just kind of one man holding this Too Easy squad around the Baron. They do take him down. Now it's going to be a 4v4 as they commit to the Baron. But Blinky is super low, so is Rin Toyama. If Tigereye can get here in time, they can stop this up. Too Easy, do they have it? Can they get it? Here comes the commit. They get out of fence in. Brawler already finds one, and they couldn't take the Baron in time, and now the team pays for it. Rin Toyama, the last man left in the pit, forced to flash over the wall. And now Tigereye, he's going to try the flyby. He gets it too late. Now he's just going to fly by and die as the Baron and the kills go over to Tigereye.
And now they're sitting with a 4 versus 1 right now. The turrets are in danger. They have the Baron buff, as Arcadian didn't have time to explain before. It allows the minions to be buffed up. There's the purple buff they've got on them right now. It makes them do more damage against turrets. It makes them take less damage from the enemy. And because of this, Tigereye can now do the key of the game, which is destroy the enemy base.
They are cracking on into it. There is no way this turret survives. And with that, the base is open for Tigereye to take it down. They're not even going to wait. They've already got Jag Attack. Now they want the inhibitor. That is going to crack the base even further open. It's going to make it super hard for Too Easy to mount any kind of defense. They're not even being able to mount one now. Tigereye, they're going to back out after that one. Happy with how much destruction they caused. The game is looking firmly in their hands.
Yeah, crucially taking down the inhibitor. That's going to allow super minions to spawn in the lane of choice. Arcadian, what does that mean for the game?
It's huge. Every single lane has some sort of pushing force. You have equal forces coming from both bases, meeting in the middle, really controlling the flow of the map. By destroying that inhibitor, you've opened the floodgates and you're flooding that particular lane with a much stronger force. You now passively, it's like having another champion. It's like having another team member always applying pressure there, and you can use that to manipulate the map. It's adding another queen to your chessboard. It's a huge, huge advantage.
And funny that you say it's like having another member, because that's what we saw so far was Rare Fiction, the guy off to the side doing that. Now, without the need for it to be Rare Fiction, he can commit himself heart and soul to these fights that Tigereye have already been winning.
And we just saw actually Tigereye, because they have so much positional control around the map, or the vision, or the goal they have in the lead. Rare Fiction actually taking an ultimate to the face there. But to put it short, they have control of the map and took a dragon very easily.
And you can already see Bomi. He's not with his team just yet. He is setting up something. He has a plan. Rintoyama, he's going to try and take advantage of that numerical advantage that they have, but it's going to blow up in his face. Already dropped into the passive. The turret goes down, and now Rintoyama is a dead man. The water just evaporates away under the damage. Okay, Tiger starting out the ultimate. Now they want to keep this one going, zoning out the enemy team for the turret as it gets chipped away. Blinky going to commit a culling onto our defense. Does a good chunk, but it's not quite enough. They might have picked out Rare Fiction.
Brawler!
No! Brawler with the eat. He swallows up his teammate. He's going to be fine now. Jack Attack committing to OK Tiger, but the follow-up damage is not there. The rest of his team, they are too timid to commit, and here is why. Bomi, open side flanker, ready to come on in. Turning the fight back around for Tigereye.
Look at the damage!
Cupcake, the last man standing. No, sorry, that's a lie. Blinky is the last man, but he's not even in the fight. This inhibitor is going to drop. That is 2 out of 3. They don't even need to take the third one. They're knocking on the Nexus. They're going to drop it on down, and Tigereye are going to put 1 on the board against Too Easy.
Now, Too Easy, with this loss here, they're looking to win 2-0 in a row. Sorry, actually, the fight is still going. Blinky trying to contribute, but there's the victory. Now, what does this mean? Too Easy can still take the series if they win the next 2 games in a row.
The crucial thing is they absolutely have to win those next 2 games. This is Tigereye's ticket to an uncontested... Actually, that's a lie. No, an uncontested second place. I am right. I'm not lying to you just yet. That was a really incredible match. I've got to be completely honest. And if Tigereye pick up a second win here, they steal second place away from the villains, and they force Too Easy into a 4th place. Tigereye, they have it within their grasp.
Yeah, so painful for Too Easy if they do lose the next matchup. But honestly, what a great way to start the night. Wow. What a great way to start the series. That was absolutely excellent.
Like we said, it was going to be scrappy and it was going to be hard fought. Well, hard fought and hard won by Tigereye in that game 1. I can't wait for game 2, but until then, we're going to hand you back to Dwan.
Yeah, well, there it is. We talk about it. I said Brawler. I said Tigereye, and then look, it's all in there. It's all for them to do now, right? So they need to be 2-0, and then they're going to go into second place, which is very important. But look, we'll break it down very, very shortly. Everyone at home, it is a best of 3. Tigereye up 1-0, so don't go anywhere. We'll just take a short break, and then we'll get back into it.
Is even better live. The NZGC League of Legends Premiership Grand Final is your chance to really experience the excitement of esports live. Wednesday, October 12, all roads lead to Motad and the Idea Collective to see who will be crowned champions. Tickets are on sale now at eventbrite.co.nz. Use the keyword NZGC. The NZGC League of Legends Premiership Grand Final. You just gotta be there live. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.co.nz.
Yes, welcome back to the Hexedome. This is game number 2 of a very important one. It's the last matchup in round robin play. and it is all in favour of Tigereye as we head forward. So they got the win. I picked it at the start, just want to say. I talked about Brawler, you talked about Too Easy, but hey, there's a lot more to come up. So I want to come to you. We talked about the bot and how important it was, and particularly about Brawler up against Cupcake. It was about the bot.
Yeah, and we saw straight into it, the first fight, 9 people all in bot lane. The only person that didn't come down was Rare, and that's because he cancelled. So it was party and bot, and everyone knew that it needed to try and get Blinky or OK Tiger rolling.
Yeah, we expected them to do so well in the bot lane for Too Easy, and it just didn't work for them. We actually saw the opposite, and Tigereye come through and win that bot lane. It was incredible and could have turned the game.
Yeah, and interesting, we talked about Brawler just obviously as gameplay, but what was also very interesting was the fact that the communication from Tigereye was fantastic, right? So very, very good as far as communication.
It was on point. You saw time after time the Gangplank ultimate straight in the early game. As soon as he hit 6, it was in the bot lane, they got a kill. It was the teleports. They just managed to do everything so perfectly, and really, it made Too Easy look like amateurs.
Well, there you have it. So Tigereye, though, gentlemen, are up 1-0. If they get this one, which could be the last match, they're going to go to the valuable second place and be back in the Hexedome for the major final. But look, we're not too far away. Pick and ban for game number 2 are on standby. Gentlemen, how are we ready for match number 2?
We are just... I'm buzzing. I'm still buzzing after that last match. I mean, like we said, this is a really, really tight one. I would say Too Easy were maybe a little bit favoured. We've already seen Tigereye take out the win, and like Arcadian just said, they kind of made Too Easy look like amateurs. Too Easy, they really have to think hard about this neck pick ban, and with that in mind, let's just get straight into that.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing to quickly touch on, though, is that Villains, they're going to be sitting at home watching this match, and really, they must have been fist pumping into the air when Tigereye won that match. Tigereye, if they win this 2-1, they'll end up tied with the Villains, right? Which gives Villains a shot at that second place. But let's get into this match right now. They're already partway through the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, so, I mean, already we see Gangplank and Jin just take it straight away from Tigereye. They're not letting that happen to them again. They're not letting that same Aurelion Sol mid-ground teamfight-oriented comp get picked up. They've stuck with the Zac, and the other one that has slipped through the cracks this time has been Cassiopeia. But here's Bomi, back on his Lee Sin, back on his absolute favorite champion in the game.
Yeah, very commonly banned away from him so that he can't play it. Bomi, though, going to be super happy that he gets to pick that champion up. Really mechanically heavy jungler. You need to be a superstar at the game to play this guy to the fullest effectiveness. They're also picking up Tahm Kench, which we saw Brawler play in the game before, kept everyone safe.
And not only that, they've also picked up Maokai, which is what Jack Attack played. So they've banned out one, they've taken away the other, and they've got a bunch of their comfort picks here. Plus, they've yet to pick their big damage dealers, whereas Too Easy have already committed to the Cassiopeia as their mid laner. So Too Easy, they now have to pick another one most likely, actually most definitely, and Tigereye, they are suddenly the ones with all of the control over the rest of this pick ban. They get to counter-pick so many lanes here.
Oh, Sivir Bard lane. So I was going to touch on it as well, with 2 AD carries banned and Too Easy getting the next AD carry pick. Tigereye, they're going to have to go with their 4th favorite AD carry. Lucian is still on the table as a really strong early game to mid game champion, which can be used to shut down the enemy bot lane, which, looking at last game, looked to be a strategy coming up from Tigereye. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lucian come out.
Yeah, in fact, I'd love to see anything really that can hold that same kind of mid-ground control. Of course, Jin does it by standing way back and stopping you from getting into that area. Lucian does it by getting into that area himself and being right up in your face. But it looks like they've got a bit of a different strategy in mind, potentially hovering over Jinx, more long-range, more siege-oriented. And I would like to see that with the safety that Tahm Kench provides. We'll see a much more patient, siege-oriented comp out of Tigereye.
And that will be super important on Brawler playing that Tahm Kench to keep his AD carry safe. And it's locked in. The Aurelion Sol is locked in. They're looking for a good midline control mage. Aurelion Sol brings exactly that. With a super strong backline damage dealer in Jinx.
Yeah.
It's looking super strong.
They're doing basically the same thing they did last time around, where they've got that mid-ground control with the Maokai and the Aurelion Sol. Of course, last time it was more the Rek'Sai up in front. We've still got Bomi who's going to be making engages, and then, you know, it's hard enough to fight through Rare Fiction on that Maokai. You're going to have to do it while Artiferns on that Aurelion Sol is dealing damage to you constantly, and that's not even including OK Tiger sitting way back on that Jinx. The counter to that, though, is going to be Nah here. Too Easy locking that one in for Jack Attack, really liking that pickup, and there is a ton of teamfight strength out of Too Easy here, far more so than last game.
Definitely so. And the other thing that Na brings into the top lane matchup is a massive advantage, right? He likes to bully out those melee champions. Maokai, a big example of that. So look for him to get ahead very early on in the game and provide pressure for his team in the mid game and even in the late game, because he brings so much with that ultimate Na.
I'm really excited to see that. Plus, that diving on top of whatever the Zac is able to get into. Like I said, there's so much more pressure, right? Tigereye are wanting to get their damage dealers in your face. Too Easy wanting to get their tanks in your face, while their damage dealers sit safely behind them. Two totally different approaches to team fights. But much like last game, we are going to see lots of team fights. We're going to see a lot of scrappy play. It favored Tigereye last time, but I feel like it could just as easily go the other way here.
Absolutely right. I mean, these teams have been practicing for this moment for weeks now. They've qualified. They've been working hard to be the best team they possibly can in the NZGC. It's a rigorous training right now. Both teams looking to pay it off.
Looking to pay it off indeed. And of course, one of the great things that this Siege comp out of Tigereye brings to the table is Poke. To help us break down what Poke is and what it can do is, of course, Arcadian.
Powered by Playtech.
Hey guys, my name's Arcadian and welcome to How to Play League of Legends, where I walk you through the basic concepts around one of the world's most popular online games, all so you can get a piece of the action. Now this time we're going to be looking at something called Poke. And so in League of Legends, poking is almost exactly what it sounds like. It's a little bit of a poke, a love tap. The poke is to get some long-range damage off before any fighting starts. Think of like poking a bear from really far away with a really long stick. The purpose is to get the enemy low and maybe get them to use some abilities or some resources to keep them ready to fight. Now the reason people poke is to build pressure on your team to force them to make a strategic decision, to fight or to flee. If they continue to stand around and get poked, eventually they will lose out if they can't dish out some poke of their own. And so they need to either choose to engage and fight before they get too low, or get out of there and recover, leaving the objective open for the taking. There are particular champions in League of Legends, or heroes, who are extremely good at poking, and some teams choose to build their entire team around the concept of poke. Remember when I said that they have to choose whether they want to fight or flee? Well, if you have some other champions on your team who are designed to punish people from jumping in and fighting, or alternatively who excel at taking different objectives if they're left unattended, it can be an extremely rewarding and difficult strategy to play against. But that's all for now. And so thanks for watching. This has been your teacher Arcadian, and until next time, as always, Arc out!
Alright, cheers, welcome back. We must have some kind of voodoo magic going on here, because I just saw Arcadian on my screen, but he's also right next to me. I don't believe it.
Hello.
He's right here, arc out, arc in, actually. Well, for us anyway. Teams are locked in, though. Let's touch on them a little bit again. You've got a big amount of damage coming out from Tigereye this time. They've picked up Jinx on, well, the namesake of the team, OK Tiger. Massive late game damage carry. Also great at sieging down turrets.
Yeah, I want to touch on win conditions here for both of these teams, because like we said, Tigereye, they have that siege capability. They have that similar kind of control of the mid-ground in these team fights, but it is slightly less so than last game. And on the flip side, I feel like there is much more hard engage from Too Easy here. So as much as both teams would be wanting to fight, Tigereye are going to be a lot more picky with it than they were last game. They're going to really take their time, find the right fights. I still think we're going to see a lot of fights, but if it's just constant fights, it's eventually going to tip in favor of Too Easy, because they do just have a much stronger team fighting comp.
The key thing to watch out for, though, is Bomi on that Lee Sin to get himself rolling, or importantly, get one of the carries rolling in either the mid lane or the bottom lane on the AD carry.
And we're going to see who he gets rolling and in what lane and where on the Rift right here, right now, as we land on down for Game 2. Tigereye already 1-0 up against Too Easy.
Tigereye 1 win away from locking in that second place seed. Too Easy, though, needing to win 2 in a row, but they could play spoiler right now by winning at least one game. game.
Yeah, and that would be, like you said, an uncontested second for Tigereye. Or, if you're a Villains fan, you're hoping too easy, do play spoiler, do pick up that one win at least before going down, because that will be a tied second place. That is the best finish that the Villains could possibly get. They're not even playing, and this matchup is still so important for them, but never mind all that. Both teams, again, solid defensive fan out for both. They don't want anything funky going down in the early parts of this game.
That was adorable, Maokai. Or Meowkai.
Meowkai.
That was
He's got
great.
a cat. He's wearing a cat onesie.
Yeah, honestly, so many people back at the office laughed at that skin when they saw it. I love it. But in any case, like you said, great open defense. What it does is guards the entrance to your side of the map. It makes it so the enemy team can't move in and place vision. But it also means your team's not doing the same. So really, really good, what I like to call a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, Blinky, Cupcake, OK Tiger and Brawler, both bottom lanes. Just kind of staring each other down for now. I don't think we're going to see anything like what we saw last time, and it does look like Brawler and OK Tiger might back off to start with a jungle camp, trying to get into lane with a bit of an experience advantage. Super crucial in the early game. And to talk to us about what experience is and what it does is, of course, Arcadian.
Experience is extremely important. We see about those players who grow naturally, that natural talent, that's what experience is. With experience grows their strength. They need that to level up, and that helps them become stronger, unlock their abilities, be able to do more, be able to be more effective. And so what you'll be trying to do is deny as much experience from your enemy as you can, as well as getting as much experience you can as yourself. That's what the jungle is doing as well with these jungle camps. They're pulling all the experience out, trying to become the strongest version of themselves, but more importantly, stronger than their enemy.
And of course, every time an enemy, minion, or champion dies near to you, you gain experience from it dying. So the only way to deny it is to force them away from your minions dying.
We're not really seeing that happen too much in the bottom lane, as both laners are looking to just kill as many minions as they can and do what we like to call push into the enemy turret.
Yeah, and that pushing is really, really crucial, because once you're under the turret starts dealing damage to minions, makes it harder to get the last hit on them, to kill them, to get the gold, to get that snowball in order. We see OK Tiger and Brawler are the ones putting on that pushing pressure.
Which is surprising, right? Because Blinky's playing Sivir, who does a lot of area of effect damage to many minions at a time. He should be the one pushing the lane in, but instead opting to control it a little bit more. But hey, Ark, I think you did a video on this. It's ganking.
It is ganking indeed. Rintoyama, he's lining up for something here, and that something is going to be committed to. Now, Red Fiction thought he was all safe and good, but not so much. Going to force the flash there. Rintoyama wants it though, follows up. Jack attack with the last one, not enough. Takes a turret shot, backs on out, is going to be safe, but he and Red Fiction are both going to have to recall and commit some teleports. Actually, Bomi is up at the top lane as well, fishing around for something. He's going to go in for it as well. I want to see that. I want to see what's going on. He's there. The teleport already committed for Red Fiction as Jack Attack is not backed out. Rintoyama in that passive state because Bomi did the damage. Now Rintoyama's in trouble. Stayed far too long and giving that kill crucially over to Red Fiction. Bomi at the defense of his top laner.
Now, a lot of things were burned in that fight up at the top lane, particularly the summoner spells, but the most important one is Flash. This is a great tool for escaping, but what does it really mean, Ark?
What summoner spells, a bit of a basic, is what those are, is every single champion has 4 unique abilities. But summoner spells are 2 abilities that they can choose out of a pool, so many of them have the same. Flash particularly is valued as one of the most valuable summoner spells because it can essentially give you an instant transmission and instant movement from one place to another within a relatively small field, but that can mean a lot. If it's over a wall, if it's straight to an enemy's face, it can make the difference between a kill and not a kill. Right now, you're vulnerable without Flash. You can't get away if you need to. And
well, I like to think that the entire Earth is vulnerable without Flash. It's a Flash Gordon joke. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Arcadian looked a little bit lost on the side there, so I just had to clear that one up.
Barry Allen's my boy.
So here we go back to this bottom lane. We're talking about that shoving pressure, pushing minions into the turret. Now it is Blinking Cupcake doing a bit more of that, like we expected here, keeping the pressure on. This is guaranteed to draw out Bomi. It's that chess match, and Rintoyama is going to have a bit of freedom of movement here to set something up.
Now, this big blue rock guy here, he's the blue buff, right? Really great at handing mana over to a certain champion. Now, Archaeo's going to pick that up, and that's super important for a mid lane champion. Blue buff, Let's hear about it.
All of the mid lane champions, or most champions, actually rely on a resource called mana to be able to perform spells. The blue buff gives you an unlimited, almost, pool of mana. It lets you regenerate so fast, and that's how they can be effective.
And here's what I was talking about before. Guaranteed to draw out Bomi, and here he comes now from the jungle, looking for Blinky. He'll already blow him. Cupcake, he throws out the portal. Blinky flashes to get to it. They're going to just barely get out by the skin of their teeth. But like I said, that has drawn out Bomi, as now Rintoyama looks to make a response in the mid lane.
And also, both of them use Flash to get away from that. They're at low health underneath the turret, but Tigereye didn't choose to pursue that. But like you said, that mid lane, a lot of power.
Well, they need to commit to it fast because he's been spotted by a ward here. Rintoyama Artifans is going to be able to just walk away the other side of the lane now. Going to get out nice and fine, even steal away some vision there in the jungle. Might even take some creeps. Heck, why not? Rintoyama showing his face there and not getting anything for it.
Oh, that's so rude, Artifans. Taking your enemy's jungle away from him, denying that XP that Ark was talking about before. Now, have a look at the CS, that little score in the bottom of the screen there. Jinx, okay, Tiger, he's 45 against Blinky's 40. Now, usually, that's only a small lead, but Jinx is a late-game champion.
Like what we talked about last game with Gangplank, only this time it's Jinx is that hyper carry. It's not just putting the team on your back, it's putting them on your back and sprinting with them. But to counter that out, Jack Attack has a similar CS advantage in the top lane. And now here we're seeing the pressure in the bottom lane. Bomi comes on down, they're going to force out Too Easy. That is the power of poke right there that OK Tiger brings to the table. Going to be able to get some chip damage onto the turret.
It's definitely really clever bringing Bomi down constantly to the bottom lane, like I said, denying the strongest part of the enemy lane. Rintoyama, though, he's hanging out on the other side of the map. There's definitely different focuses for both teams right now.
Yeah, this is a much stronger response than what we saw before. Last time Rintoyama went to the mid lane, didn't get much vision, didn't really get much of anything. This time instead he went to the top side of the jungle and is now denying CS from his opponent, denying gold and experience. He is going to ramp up harder than Bomi here.
Oh no, you can actually see on the minimap, RKL is heading down to the bottom side of the map, but notice that he's probably watered out.
Hold on, Rintoyama and Bomi about to meet up here, and Artifans could come in for the collapse, actually. Rintoyama needs to be a little bit careful. Bomi's just going to wander off to the side. Now Rintoyama, actually he tries to escape and jumps right onto Artifans, who is now going to be hot on his heels, gets the stun down. Rintoyama, he's taking chunks, he needs to be careful here. Artifans throwing it all out. RKL's here for the response, gets the slow on down. They want to try and turn this one around, and Artifans out of mana. Can't go any further. RKL able to keep his jungler alive. A little bit tense for a moment there, but everyone's going to walk out alive.
And if you draw your eyes to the top of the screen, despite being 1 kill ahead, Tigereye and Too Easy have completely even gold scores right now. Easiest way to tell if someone's ahead. The way that's being unevened out right now is Jack Attack. He's miles ahead in creep score in the top lane right now. We talked about that earlier. Nara's great at winning the lane against a melee champion.
Yeah, it's the classic, you know, it's range versus melee. It's really simple. You've got a bow and arrow, they've got a sword. Well, guess who wins that one? You can swing that sword pretty hard. Doesn't matter if you can't get close. Jack Attack making as much out of that as he possibly can. Going back toe-to-toe again with Rare Fiction here. And now he knows he's in a little bit of trouble as Bomi comes up to the top side. Pops a flash, pops a jump, gonna get out fine.
There was the option to go in there for Bomi.
My mind's telling me no.
He has flash, he has his ultimate, but his body definitely saying no as well.
Yeah.
But in any case, down in the bottom lane, Jinx has that BF sword, but it's only just matching Blinky's one.
Yeah, and that's often a crucial item, spike, but when both people are spiking, you know, the relative damage is really the same, so neither with a significant advantage just yet, despite the CS lead in favor of OK Tiger. They're going to try and keep up the pressure, though, with shoving minions in to try and get that chip damage on the turret. I won't be surprised if that eventually draws the attention of Rintoyama.
Rintoyama, we haven't seen too many of those unique engagements yet right now that Zach brings from so far away with the elastic slingshot. Really needs to start using them. He is farming up in the jungle a little bit better than Bomi, but so far, the only thing he's contributed to his team is a death.
That's a little bit harsh.
Well, I mean,
sure. I mean, he's done other stuff too.
He blew flash in the top lane.
Has done a decent job of denying some of Bomi's vision so far, but of course, Bomi has been able to get a chunk down, and that is going to be enough to spot out RKL as he comes in for a gank in the bottom lane. Now, OK Tiger and Roller, they're trying to get out of this one. The Bard ultimate was already used. Roller, he hits up OK Tiger, but they know there's nowhere to run. This is not them retreating into friendly territory. They're trying to scatter to the 4 winds and buy time. The rest of their team can't even collapse. 4 versus 2. The numbers tell them all, and Too Easy put 2 on the board.
Oh, but matched in the top lane, it's going to be Tigereye taking out a kill. A against Jack Attack there, securing that deficit that Rare Fiction has.
And it is exactly matched. You can see on the top of your screens there, the scoreboard is dead even in gold and kills. But here's Too Easy trying to swing it a bit more in their favor now as they look to take down the turret, get what we call the initial demolition gold. That is the bonus gold you get from killing the first turret on top of the standard gold yield from killing a turret. And that can be what it takes to give Too Easy that tiny little lead.
The difference, though, is, well, I mean, of course they get the initial demolition gold, so props to them. But now they're in position to take out the Dragon because their fight was won on the bottom side of the map. Tigereye don't even match the turret.
They tried to get the trade, but I mean, you know, 4 people killing 1 turret versus 2 people killing 1 turret. No surprise how that one works out. Like you said, the Dragon as well. This is also a Mountain Dragon, which provides a lot of turret killing stats. Something Too Easy can maybe do later. Actually, whoa! That's actually the Zach being popped to Pascal. Blinky's being careful here because Brawler's right here. And oh my god, Tigereye just force Too Easy out of the pit, muscle them off, take the Dragon out from under their nose.
Absolutely key ultimate ability from OK Tiger there. That's what we call a global ultimate, can be shot from any part of the map. Artifernes, though, has gone aggressive.
Yeah, he's looking for Blink. He doesn't connect the stun, but connects the damage. Blinky blowing his heal, one of his summoner spells. Does not get the kill there, Artifernes. He will back off. They're going to try and take away the blue buff, though, and start getting vision down. And this is positional control. This is creating space to make plays here for Tigereye, who are just a little bit behind in gold. They want to try and turn this back around.
Tigereye definitely need to get ahead in the early game because they have that Lee Sin. He's such an early game champion, very strong with his base damage. He doesn't really care if he gets the items to come a little bit more tanky, harder to kill. But in any case, Tigereye, great positioning on this bottom lane turret. This is Too Easy match it.
This is exactly what we talked about, the pressure that comes out of OK Tiger, and it finally pays off here as Too Easy arrive to find their turret Gonzo, but they're going to try and turn it back around by getting a kill on Brawler. He's flashed away. The Bard ultimate goes wide. Brawler not popping the pick.
But Rintoyama!
Sorry, just yet. Yeah, Rintoyama is here to try and make something happen. They stun up Brawler! That's going to be enough! He even blew the heal, but it's not going to help him out. Rintoyama does pop his ultimate to make sure it gets secured, but they do trade the kill back. Now they're going to try and move it on up. They're really throwing Rare Fiction into disarray. He's a long way away from where he wants to be. That is more advantage over to Jack Attack, and Too Easy just barely keeping on top of this one.
It was actually Bomi trying to hold up the top lane. Not very often you want to send your jungler up there, but have a look at the gold once again. It's still dead even. Either team can take this right now. This mid lane turret's going to swing it in Tigereye's favor.
Yeah, and again, this is one of the great things that Tigereye can do is that slow, constant pressure. We talked last game about Aurelion Sol in the mid lane. He's a relay runner, you know, he can go the distance. He can do it pretty fast too. He can't quite do a full marathon, but he's got some legs on, well, not quite, because he does float, but in any case, we're seeing that as he chips away that turret, but now they're going to try and chip away the enemy team altogether as Cupcake overcommits. Now Brawler's the one caught out. Rintoyama there to help out secure the kill if they can. They're looking for the fight. Arcale misses the ultimate, and Tigereye wander away like it ain't even a thing.
Yeah, that key ultimate there, Arcale with a petrifying gaze, can swing team fights in his favor. Now, Tigereye know that it's down. They can take an advantage against him by pressuring the mid lane, trying to get a kill there if they need to.
Now, Tigereye, as you can see up on the scoreboard, the gold pretty close to even there, but the turret advantage is in favor of Tigereye, and crucially, they have the mid lane turret down. That is going to open the map up for them to place wards. And those all-important wards are everything they need to try and set up the fights that they want, because it is so key. Like we said, they are going to be picky with fights. It's key that they find the right ones.
So this is definitely going to be one of the times where you look at the gold, you see it's even, but it's not the key thing to look at. You need to look at turrets and the Dragon as well. You know, that's definitely the other story to see.
Yeah, you know, again, it's kind of like a rugby game. You know, sometimes you can look at the scoreboard, it is dead even, but one team has had the ball 80% of the time. They've had all the ground. They're just not quite getting it over the line, but you know eventually they will. And right now, Tigereye are sort of the ones in that position. The gold, very, very even, a little bit in their favor, but with that turret down, with the pressure they are creating, it's only a matter of time before Too Easy crumbles. So Too Easy on the flip side, they need to start making fights happen now so that they can really bust this game wide open for themselves.
So what we're going to see soon is Tigereye probably looking to start up a siege, and if we don't see a fight here, I think Arcadian can explain just quickly what a siege is.
Well, we might just see a fight here, but if it starts out, we'll hit it back to picks. But a siege, essentially, a siege is when you get your team together into one big, strong unit, and you want to set up camp outside one of their structures. If you think of their structures as an enemy, as a medieval castle, you set up siege outside, and you wait until you can push through, apply pressure, and really just get them off that structure, because this is a game of economies. This is a game where structures are assets, and that's what they want to try and siege down.
And this is actually too easy, kind of doing it in response. Instead of Tigereye, they're just going to force Tigereye back from this turret. Rintoyama doing that work, but he might be doing it a little bit too hard. They've managed to zone out Rare Fiction, and here's going to be Tigereye trying to commit to the fight. This is what Too Easy want. They're going to be able to take down the turret. And like I said, Tigereye want to be picky with fights. Too Easy do not. They just want to fight.
And right now, Too Easy have the numbers advantage. Okay, Tiger, on the other side of the map, looking down at the mini-map, you can see him. He's miles away from the rest of his team. And Too Easy are taking advantage of it.
That's the one. It's the Bard off for the catch, but they don't quite have the follow-up. They're looking for it. Artifact's going to be able to get out. Bomi takes a chunk, forced to flash. Blinky tries to scoop it up with the boomerang blade, does not find it. But Too Easy, with that pressure on Bomi, they've drawn up Tigereye. Bomi's going to have to back out and Jack Attack chipping away from the side. Too Easy. They're definitely going to try and set up for some kind of fight, or maybe even dive here.
Yeah, Too Easy. They don't have the best siege composition, and low-range AD carry like Sivir doesn't allow you to do that. So Tigereye, how they stop a siege is by killing all the minions, so Too Easy have to tank it up, and you do that with what we call wave clear, and Aurelion Sol and Jinx bring a lot of that.
They absolutely do. And speaking of wave clear, now Too Easy have had to commit what little wave clear they have to this bottom lane, where the minions were starting to naturally push into the turret. That means that Tigereye, they have a little bit of a moment to breathe. And let's talk about a really key thing that has just happened. Jack Attack has had a massive item spike. Talk to us about that, Smite.
So it's super important because Frozen Mallet slows the enemy on every auto attack.
As you can see, look at Rare Fiction, already moving slowly.
And what that means is he can just auto-attack the enemy, move back, attack him again, move back, attack him again, and he's never going to get touched. And against a melee champion like Maokai, Jack Attack's going to control that lane for the rest of the game.
Like we said, already a little bit of an advantage for him, a range into a melee. Well, now the melee can't even get close, whether he likes it or not. Meanwhile, Tigereye down on the bottom side, trying to control the Dragon Pit here, trying to control the vision. Jack Attack keeping the pressure up in the top lane, though. It's going to force Rare Fiction to back. He is ready to teleport it to fight.
Now, very quickly touching on what this dragon is, it's an Ocean Drake, or if you want to put it simply, the Regeneration Drake. Slowly lets your health and mana come back so that you can last in fights a little bit longer, right? And you mix that with the Mountain Drake and you get Mud. But you also get the ability to siege down turrets a lot easier. Speaking of siege...
Yeah, Too Easy. They're committing to it, but looks like Tigereye are as well. They've already got the teleport coming in from Rare Fiction. He is going to arrive to the middle of the party. Bomi there as well. They actually don't... I don't quite think they know that Jack Attack is off to the side. Now here's a really smart rotation. This is when you move quicker than the enemy team. They're going to catch out Artifans, who they spotted in the bottom lane, miles away. Cupcake looking for it. They don't quite get the collapse in time. Artifans able to get out, but Too Easy do have control over this dragon now.
But two ultimates were used. Blinky's ultimate on the Hunt and Cupcake's ultimate, the Tempered Fate. Very, very crucial. They're going to have to wait a few minutes until they can do that again, and because of that, Tigereye now have advantage.
But never mind that, because Rintoyama going to go right in for it, but they take a chunk back in return. It's Artifans on the side, untouched through the damage is now in behind Jack Attack. The Eater's there for Brawler to save his top lane tank and Artifans. And like we said, going the distance, you can see him there constantly up front, chipping away. Rintoyama goes back in. Now they've zoned out Arcale, forced to flash. They haven't got any kills, but this is all Tigereye needs to get the positional advantage. They're going to take this dragon, and they're going to set up a siege.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that they got no kills in that fight. If you look on the side of the screen right now, you can see all the health bars are blinking red. That means they're too low to actually commit to a fight. They get a free Ocean Drake. They're going to mix it up with the Mountain Drake, and now the extra siege damage, as well as the extra regeneration, they're looking in prime position to just sit outside the enemy's medieval castle and slowly take it down.
We already talked about how Tigereye, they didn't quite have the same team fight comp as last time. They had a bit of that capability, but they'd sacrificed some of that to give themselves a bit of siege power. With those two dragons in pocket, they absolutely have the siege capability. Like we said, the scoreboard is not quite telling the whole story here, because Tigereye have all the tools they need, whereas Too Easy, they still need to get a few fights in their favor.
Yeah, Too Easy. And because they've got the Zac, they need to be the ones controlling the fights right now. They need to choose when fights happen. But we've seen that happen so far, and they've been a little bit too risky, right? They've thrown out ultimates and missed their opportunities. So they need to be a little more calculated on how Too Easy are going to take fights right now.
Yeah, they actually do kind of need to be calculated. We said earlier, Tigereye are the ones who need to be picky. Well, Too Easy, they kind of have to be a little bit picky too, because they need to make sure that the fight isn't just a decent fight for them. It has to be a really good fight. It has to be close to a team wipe. They're already trying to put on the pressure again with Jack Attack at the top lane, and Rare Fiction is a long way away. This could be Too Easy's moment.
Rare Fiction doesn't have teleport either. He has to walk all the way over to where this fight happens. Too Easy should have been going for a fight right now, but now they've lost their window of opportunity.
Yeah, they're too afraid to pull the trigger, and you can't blame them with this much on the line. They know that if they lose this match, then it is all over for that second place dream. Baron Nash is spawning into the pit there, as you can see on your screens. Like I said, too easy. They're actually playing cautiously, and you can understand why, but really they need to be committing.
And that Baron Nashor, we just saw him burst out of the ground. We said it in game 1. You kill him, he's the king boss right now. You take him down, and you get a big buff for your entire team. Ark, let's go over that again.
Sure, so the Baron Nashor gives you a little bit of everything. It gives you some team morale. It gives you some strength, some movement. It gives you, it helps your other minions around you. It does a little bit of everything. It's like a temporary performance enhancer. And so that's
legal steroids.
It's illegal. It's a legal steroid enhancer.
Whoa, Rare Fiction though, caught out by that Baron pit. Artifans wanted to come in for the save, but he knows he can't. This is what Too Easy needed. The ultimate comes out from Artifans, but it might not be enough because Rintoyama's in on top of him. Brawler's there with the eat up onto Artifans, so now they're going to try to turn it around. Bomi goes in. Artifans on the front line trying to get the damage. RKL spins it around with the ultimate. Jack takes in. The scoop! The big bad scoop right into the jaws of Rintoyama. And Blinky with the follow-up damage. Now it is only Brawler left alive, and that is how Too Easy do it. That is how they siege it up, take down the turrets, win the fights, and all of a sudden, the gold lead falls in their favor.
And they swing down that mid lane turret as well. No one to defend it right now but for Brawler. He's looking to try and do anything he can, but he knows smartly he's got to back off. Another turret falls.
Yeah, this is how Too Easy do it. Like I said, it's all about winning that big fight, the good fight. They had a huge advantage off of that one. A 4-for-1 trade, 2 turrets in their favor. Too Easy, they can just go for it. Let's take another look at how that went down, because that was really on a knife's edge.
Yeah, so this is after they already caught out Rare Fiction, so they've got a numbers advantage. Too Easy know that, they back in, and a key Gnar ultimate throws the entire enemy team out of position, and Tigereye had to back off.
Really, really nicely played by Too Easy. They knew that they had the power, they knew that they had the opportunity to do that. Really, really solid by them. Using that Mega Form out of Jack Attack in conjunction with Arkael's ultimate. Something we like to call a wombo combo. You throw down one, you throw down another, and between the two of them, you absolutely roll. And they might be looking to do the same thing again here, actually. Rintoyama on the retreat, he's able to get on out. They actually don't have the numerical advantage, and they need to bring the champions into their side lanes.
And OK Tiger knows this, but they're long range engage!
Rintoyama using that range, they're going to try and go for it again. The collapse is starting to come in. This is 3 versus 5, and they've got a pick out. They're going to keep the pressure on. Blinky pops on the hunt, and they are on the hunt as they look for Bomi. He's sure to drop here any second now. Rare Fiction trying to buy time. Artifans doing the same, but the pressure is still there. Rare Fiction now, here's a dead man as the Bardal secures Brawler in the golden statue. They're going to try and get the collapse onto Artifans and Brawler. Arkael whiffs the ultimate, actually. They have to back off just a little bit. Jack Attack, Rare Fiction did not get out with his life. That's all Too Easy. Need to get some crucial vision down around the Baron pit.
Oh, but before that though, OK Tiger has respawned. He could shoot his rocket across the map to get a kill on one of those low HP members, but curse of the commentator, he's not going to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Of course they're not.
But crucially, Too Easy didn't actually get much from that fight. They didn't get a turret, and they didn't get the positioning advantage to get too many wards down.
Not quite, but like we said, it's always a game of inches and Too Easy. They want their fights any way they can get them. It might be a little bit, but a little bit is always something. But here's actually Tigereye finding one back in their favor as they catch out Rintoyama. Where have I seen this before? I think it was Rare Fiction last time around. Tigereye, though, they don't look quite so willing to fight here.
And Too Easy.
They lose a bit of control over the Baron here.
Yeah, like Crunch said, making too many easy mistakes, but in any case, this Baron is under threat right now. No jungler to contest it, and Too Easy, so often, their strength has been that Zac engage, and Too Easy know they can't engage right now.
But Jack Attack is about to go Mega. Here's the other option for them. He goes Mega, finds the scoop, they get Bomi to start it off. Now they're looking for Rare Fiction. Cupcake gets his ass out of there. Rare Fiction now dropped down. The chip damage from Arkael, and here's the one keeping the pressure on now is here at Blinky. Looking for OK Tiger. The boomerang not quite enough. Artifans barely stopping up the chase there, but Too Easy. Again, game of inches, they're happy to walk away with that one. It is a 2 for, I guess, 1 if you count Rintoyama, but he's back up. They might even look for Brawler here, but they're definitely going to look for a turret. Every single one is a good one for Too Easy. They will take these fights any way they can get them.
So right now, you know, you look at the scoreboard, 5 to 11 is the kills right now. That's where a lot of the gold is coming from for Too Easy. But additionally, now because they're getting those kills, they can rip down the turrets as well. I mean, how much do these kills really mean, Arcadian?
kills are really just a means to an end. The idea of the entire game is to destroy the enemy nexus, and to do so you have to get through their structures. It's incredibly difficult to do that when you've got 5 people standing in front of that tower. And so the aim of the game, the only purpose really of these kills is to take those obstacles out of the way so you can kill these turrets and start taking over more land, start owning that territory. And that's the steps to victory.
That is really Too Easy's game plan here. Tigereye, they're happy to do it 5v5. That is the team composition they have built up. Too Easy, a little bit of a different one, like Arcadian just said. That's the way they wanted to do it. Now they're going to get the Ocean Drake. The game inches as they pick up another one.
Yeah, definitely crucially important. Definitely crucially very important for Too Easy to take this away from Tigereye.
Yes.
It's a thing that they should do. Because, of course, if Tigereye picked that one up, that's another regeneration Drake, allowing them to siege anymore. And looking at that icon, that means a Mountain Drake is coming up next, which is the Drake that allows you to siege down the enemy base and structures, and even the epic monsters a whole lot quicker. Yeah, it's the one Tigereye already got for themselves, and it works for their team comp, but at this point it works for Too Easy too, because if they can win fights, the faster they're able to take down turrets after that, the quicker they can close it out, the more advantages they can get. They can turn small ones into big ones into an entire game, and right now with about 6,000 gold in their favor, Too Easy are starting to look for the game here. And they've always got the engage. They control when the fights happen. Rin Toyama, he's always looking for that engage. Look for when he starts standing still and, well, winding himself up like a slingshot, right? That big blue glob of water right there. He's the key one that is going to start the fights for Too Easy. And you can see them trying to set up the siege. It's not really easy against Tigereye, though. Can't really take the wave clear to them, but what they are going to do instead is send Jack-Attack up to the top lane. You can see that on your mini-maps there, trying to keep the pressure on. He has now drawn away Artifans. RKL doing the same in the mid, and this is how Too Easy set it up. They stretch Tigereye thin, and then they find the point of weakness in the fight. Something really important about Too Easy's composition is that they're running Gnar. And a key thing about Gnar is that he has a window when he's a little yordle guy, and then a window when he's a huge big monster. When he's a little yordle guy, that's when your team wants to fight him. And so Tigereye need to be watching that, and when Jack-Attack turns little, that's when they're going to look for fights. But when he's big, Too Easy are going to be the ones looking for the fights. And he's about to go big. You can see on the champion icon on the right-hand side of your screen there. Jack-Attack up at the top of it. That bar going yellow now. He's getting close. Foamy able to jump away from that one. Okay, I'm not quite going to find anything there. Just love taps. Just love taps. Clearing out the vision now. There's the game plan. Too Easy there. Just trying to keep control of this map. And they slowly want to start tightening the noose here. Yeah, crucially around the Baron area, right? We said it's very important for teams to get this buff by slaying the big worm. And look at this, Tigereye out of position. Yeah, they're committing to it because, like you said, out of position. Artifans, they spotted him out in the bottom lane because, of course, minions give you vision. Too Easy, they know that they have the numerical advantage. Artifans is going to take a while to get there. Now Too Easy, they want to commit to the fight because they've got that mega Jack-Attack. They find Red Fiction. Artifans on the side, though, gets a big ultimate. And now bombing in to save Red Fiction. And it's all disarray for Too Easy. Jack-Attack is low. He drops down. Okay, Tiger's untouched on the back side of it. Foamy goes in. He drops out, but he does drop down. A double kill for Blinky. But Blinky might go down here to OK Tiger, who gets caught up by the stun. The triple kill now. The Quadra. No, not quite. It's going to be taken away. Now it's going to be the Quadra at last for Blinky. Too Easy with a solid fight. Quadra kill. 4 kills in a row for Blinky right there. Missing that last one for the pentakill, but who cares because his team is the one alive and they're turning their eyes back to the Baron, getting that late game buff so they can siege down and do the key to every game, take down the enemy's base. Like we said, Too Easy. They want these fights any way they can get them. They started the Baron. They forced Tigereye's hand. Tigereye had to respond or they give up the most crucial buff for their team comp. They respond. Too Easy peel off the Baron. They fight. They win because they have the numbers advantage, and that is all she wrote now as the gold lead increases to just under 10,000. And Too Easy, they managed to keep the gold even during the early game for the fight. So honestly, the fact that they're ahead right now, really key. And let's take a look at that if we can here. The peeling off of the Barons, they had the numerical advantage. And it was all Jack-Attack in that mega form. They zoned out Red Fiction, zoned out OK Tiger, who did do a ton of damage, but really Too Easy were just in disarray. They could never commit all 5 of them. And meanwhile, RKL and Blinky on the left side of your screen were more untouched than OK Tiger could ever hope to be. By this point, they already had the numbers. The damage was sure to follow, and Too Easy just steamrolled by completely out-positioning Tigereye. Honestly, looking at that team fight, right, it looked completely in 2Easy's favor, but the key thing to look at was the fact that OK Tiger did a ton of damage in a very short window. So 2Easy may need to look at focusing him down a little bit more, because OK Tiger is really hitting that late game phase that a late game hyper carry like Jinx really loves.
There is absolutely the window still for Tigereye. It is only a narrow window, but if they can leverage it, like I said, they're going to be picking with their fights, and if they can pick the right one, OK Tiger could just steamroll 2Easy.
And honestly, with that 10,000 gold lead, it's really looking like 2Easy. They've got this game in the grasp of their hands right now. They're in control. They've got the Baron buff. They're sieging down the mid lane turret. Slowly, that health bar is dropping.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because we talked about Tigereye as the siege comp, but that's the strength of the Baron buff. Can turn just about anyone into a siege comp, really. And already we're seeing them, like we saw Tigereye do last game. They're starting to chip away at the base. They want to crack that one open, because that is what is going to give them all the pressure they need to secure the game. Once that egg is cracked, you can't keep the yoke inside, and it gets super, super hard for Tigereye to turn it back around.
And he might be going in. No, Rintoyama just playing it safe, but that
brought him with a quick swallow.
That turret's health bar is dropping pretty quickly now, and so it's really on Tigereye. They've got a small window of time right now, a time limit.
But 2Easy need to be careful. They need to not miss position. It is so crucial. If they get greedy, if they try and stay a little bit too long to secure that turret, to get that last shot on it, then that could be Tigereye's window. That could be the team fight they want to pick. And 2Easy need to make sure that doesn't happen. Here they go for it. They get the turret down. The base is cracked open now. And what else can 2Easy get? They want to try and stick around for the inhibitor if they can, I think.
2Easy, really...
Caster's curse, they're rotating.
2Easy, really looking to put a game back on the board. Oh, that's cheeky, but the board has seen them go in.
I've seen them go in, but that might not be enough if Tigereye get baited out.
But what this means, though, if 2Easy can win this game, it's a best of 3, remember? They'll tie it up, and crucially, points-wise, that means Tigereye will, at best, tie with the villains.
Not the ideal situation for them. The villains, though, they'll be pretty happy about that one. It's going to be a Mountain Drake being picked up here. A second round of Mud here. Tigereye have 1 Mountain, 1 Ocean. Now 2Easy do too. They've got the Baron buff too, and the turret destruction bonus from the Mountain Drake. 2Easy, they're looking ship-shape to take down Tigereye and even up the board.
And this is actually crazy, right? If 2Easy can get a win here, it would not only be the first time that a series has gone to a third game in the Hexedome, but also the first time that a red side team has won, I believe. No? Yes?
Yeah, it would be. It would indeed be true. And 2Easy, the villain slayers, certainly the team we can expect to do that, to break tradition. And like we said, 2Easy, villains, you know, they wouldn't be happy about 2Easy winning against them, but they'd be happy about 2Easy winning here at least once. Then they want Tigereye to pull it back. But Tigereye, they just want to win it.
Every villain's fan. Oh, Rintoyama may have gone too deep.
He may have, but it could be the Hunter becoming the Hunted here as Rintoyama sends Tigereye into disarray. Now the rest of 2Easy looking to find a fight. Here's Jack Attack from the side. The big flank in, looking for the scoop in that mega form. What can he find? They've already found Foamy on the start of the fight. Now they're looking for more. The stun up onto OK Tiger. They need to get on top of him. Quick smart, they do. Double kill now for Arcale. Brawler, tanky as you like, but that might not be enough. He is forced to back away and leaves Artifans out to dry. Jack Attack going to keep hot on his heels while the rest of the team deals with the base, taking down the first inhibitor. They might just want to move straight on to the Nexus turrets because Artifans has already gone down. Jack Attack and Brawler, they are not damage dealers, they are tanks, and without anyone to tank for, they are useless here as the base crumbles before them. Second turret down. Jack Attack doesn't even care if he dies. He's got a Guardian Angel to come back to life, but it doesn't even matter because the Nexus is the thing that really needs to die here, and it does as 2Easy tie the series up 1-1.
And Villains fans at home, the Villains themselves sitting there in rejoice. One win from Tigereye now can tie them second and give Villains the best chance at getting that second place seed.
What a fantastic game there for 2Easy. Tigereye, they look to take the same approach as game 1. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, now it's broken. They do have to fix it because 2Easy found the chink in the armor. They found the weakness and they really burst it wide open, exposed the soft flesh underneath. Now Tigereye are going to be the ones who have to figure it out, get back in this third game, lest 2Easy close it out 2-1 and secure for themselves a second place. All that and more in game 3, though, and before we hit that, we're going to give it back to Dwan.
Yeah, thanks very much, gentlemen. Wow, wow, wow. For the very first time, for everyone that is watching or just tuned in, this is the first time that we are going to go to a decider in the Hexedome. It is 1 1, and this is the deciding match that's coming up very, very shortly. So they bounced back. We talked about the pressure and how even they were, and that particular match was exactly that. It was very, very even, right?
Yeah, it was, and then one fight completely flips it on its head. 4,000 gold off just one fight for Too Easy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And if you talk about them moving around the map very, very well in the form of Too Easy.
Yeah, they did fantastically. They tried to go on the left side, they were there. They turned to the mid lane, they were there. And they moved all the way. They moved so fluently as one unit, which was the important part, and they managed to catch Tigereye out. And that was where the difference was made.
It was, and they split up. Early on it was a bit messy. They stayed in their sort of fort, wasn't quite working. They were sort of overplaying and being a bit overconfident, Too Easy. But in the end, that's actually what got them into the position to win the match, right?
Oh, absolutely. They were still making those really annoying mistakes. After they got a lead, they'd just drop a kill or, drop the dragon. They started controlling the vision and just watching Tigereye come towards them. And that's exactly what they need to do. Shut out the eye of the tiger and they can't see you and pounce on you.
Yeah, well, you talked about it early on, but we have got a decider. So I'm very excited. For everyone at home, we're not too far away. We'll go to a short break and then we're going to get into the decider very shortly. Welcome back to Sky Sports' exclusive coverage of the New Zealand Gaming Championships 2016. Very exciting for everyone at home that has just tuned in. A, you've missed out on a whole bunch, but B, you're in for a treat because we are going to the very first decider in the Hexedome thus far in the tournament, and it is the last match in round robin play, so there is plenty at stake for all the teams. So very exciting. We're not too far away from jumping into that. But gents, I want to talk about Villains, last year's champions, are still alive if Tigereye can win. So, what are Villains doing at home right now?
Oh, Dolphs will be screaming at the screen. We know he's a character, and of course he's going to be rooting for Tigereye here. This is his road back to the championship. He's going to get second place, go through to that grand final, take on King 5.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to say as well for everyone at home, the last two matches in the Hexedome have been 2 games to 0. 2 games to 0 last week, and I have to give credit to Too Easy. When they came into that very first game, they were down 1-0. No one's bounced back. And I actually thought they were a little bit rattled. All of a sudden, here they are, right? They're back in the match, and they looked very, very strong.
There's a presence in the Hexedome that has brought down every team so far who has managed to lose the first game. You lose the first game, you become demoralized. It's hard to win the second game. If anything, we have to give it to Too Easy. And the fact that they lost that first game and then they came back, pulled it together with Jack Attack's experience, and they've managed to bring it back. And now they're into the final match. They won the game. It's game 3. Anything could happen.
It is game 3 for everyone, and we're not too far away from it. Before we get back, because it's very important about the structure of it, and obviously for Tigereye, they want to win anyway, but I said, and just for everyone at home that is just tuning in, I did say Tigereye with Brawler, so I'll stay with that. What about you as we head into the big decider right now? Who are you going with and why?
I think Too Easy have really fixed their mentality. We saw them at the end start pulling all the things together and reduce those mistakes. If they can do that, I'm going with Too Easy.
And what about you, Ark?
It's tough, but the momentum's with Too Easy. They won the last one. Sure, it's 0-0 now, really. It's the next game wins, but Too Easy have the momentum.
And if Too Easy do win for everyone at home tonight, they'll go into second place. They'll be back in the Hexedome next week for the major qualifier up against King 5. So there is plenty on the line because it means there's only going to be one more match, and then they go straight into the live final at Motat on October the 12th, which is the big show, right? And everyone wants to get there. But for everyone at home, we are about to get into the pick and ban for match number 3, Pixie and Smite. Take us away.
Oh, wow. Match 3. First time we have had a match 3 here at the Hexedome, and this is definitely the matchup deserving of that decider. This is the battle for second place, and if either team wins this, they do secure a second place for themselves. This is a really, really big one for both of these teams. I'm super excited for this one, and already we're going to have a bit of a hold up on the pick ban. I'm really keen to see what these guys bring out because we've seen both teams run solid comps both games. They've pulled out all the stocks, dude. I don't know what they've got left, but I really can't wait to see.
Honestly, like Dwan said before, so much pressure when you lose a game in the Hexedome. And Too Easy, they brought it back. That's really a feat to be proud of right now. But importantly, it also plays spoiler a little bit to Tigereye. Now they're going to have to compete for, at best, a tie with the villains in second place. Honestly, I feel like either team can really swing it back. They've both got the morale boost from one win, and they both have now a feel for what the other team is like, how they play, and they can definitely start creating new strategies around that.
And we've seen both of these teams really willing to team fight. You know, they've taken a bit more finesse both times, you know, in terms of like Tigereye bringing a bit of siege into it last game. They were still willing to fight, but it didn't quite work out for them. In the first game, though, it absolutely did work out for them. This is how these guys both like to play. They like to fight. They like to get in there. They're super scrappy. I feel like we're going to have a really bloody, really hard out back and forth last match. It's going to be like a mosh pit on the Rift.
And both games so far have seen so much early aggression on the bottom side of the map, focusing the superstar duo lane, Blinky and Cupcake, but at the same time targeting the captain of Tigereye in Brawler. And I feel like game number 3, we're only going to amp that up straight to 100, as both teams are going to focus on the win condition, which is just dismantling your enemy bottom lane.
And I really feel like this is anyone's game here, right? I mean, for starters, yeah, they're both now beaten each other once, right? But I don't know that either team is particularly more favored, right? It's not like, you know, Too Easy just hit their stride and Tigereye crumbled, and it's not like the first game was this tight fluke or anything. It's like both teams have taken really solid comps and really solid strategies and beaten the other team with them. I don't know how else to say how this match is going to be a close one, but I guarantee you it is.
Well, I mean, even within the games themselves, like you said, they were swinging back and forth. At any point, it looked like either team could take it, especially in game number 2 there, where Too Easy inched out of victory, and then eventually they took a huge amount of gold lead later on in the game. But up until that point, which was about 30 minutes in, it was dead even.
Yeah, and we're just going to be able to get back on into this pick and ban here in just a minute. Like I said, super excited to see what these teams bring on out, even just what the bans are, what they are prioritizing to take off the table already. Yeah, power picks being taken away, Gangplank from Rare Fiction, Caitlyn away from Blinky, Jin away from Tiger, Trundle from Jack Attack. They know what the other team likes to play, and they're not going to let them have it. So the question is, what are these teams going to play?
But also importantly, what are they going to change in their strategy? And there's the first adaptation, right?
Tahm Kench.
Tahm Kench.
The Kench is benched.
Brawler has been a superstar on this champion in the series so far. Played it 2 games in a row, and he's going to not be able to play it this game, so he's going to have to pick up a new support.
And it's been super crucial in their team comps as well. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. But the Tahm Kench has been really crucial to their team comps because of the safety he provides. Here instead, they're picking up Nami. Now, Brawler's namesake, he used to be Fish King Brawler because of how much he used to play Nami. On the flip side of that, guess what else has slipped through the cracks? It is Vladimir going over to Archael.
Yeah, that's pretty important, but I want to talk about the Karma first pick as well. Tigereye let that through, and they're okay with that because they knew, well, Brawler can just play Nami anyway. But importantly, Too Easy said, well, all right, we'll take it. We'll pick up the Sivir as well. Synergy in that bot lane is immense.
And you know, last pick ban, you said, well, Caitlyn and Jin are off the table. What else do you pick? It's Sivir, and there it is. So the question is, what are Tigereye going to take to round that one out? Also, what do they take going into the mid lane against this Vlad? Because he is just a staple of the scene right now. He could stay in the fights for so long, and that's actually how we've seen Artiferns play a lot on the Cerulean Soul. He's not going to have that same option against Vladimir. What's he going to take instead?
Well, of course, the Nidalee also slipped through the cracks there. A jungler that has been banned, I
probably
believe.
the most favoured jungler in the entirety of New Zealand.
Definitely. Every jungler in New Zealand wants to get their hands on that champion, and Bomi is going to be the one to play at this game. Maokai is locked in, and they're going to go OK Tiger on Jinx again.
Yeah.
No Tahm Kench to keep him safe this time, though.
Yeah, a bit of a different story for them. But of course, with that Vlad there, they're expecting that there isn't going to be much diving here. Also, they've hidden their mid lane pick. They're going to make sure they get a counter pick there. So I do like that call. Rare Fiction, though, he will also be able to get counterpicked in this top lane, and already we're seeing Tigereye. They're not necessarily getting their favored picks here. They are going to have to be a little bit quick on their execution here in the early parts of the game, I feel, and I'm interested to see how Too Easy round this one out.
Too Easy have the option to do what they did last game, pick the Gnar into the Maokai. It worked well last game. He got very ahead, just with that ranged versus melee matchup, always going to be in favor of the ranged, and he can do it again this game.
And is it going to be that Shen? That is, of course, the one we have not seen yet. And Rin Toyama as well back onto the Zac. They're looking to have a really solid, strong team fight here. This time, instead of Tigereye, it is Too Easy who want to control the middle ground in these team fights, want to drag them out, want to make it as back and forth as possible. Tigereye, what do they take in the mid lane? How do they deal with this?
They're honestly taking so much time considering these picks right now, and Tigereye have to take all the time that they need right now to pick out the best mid laner right now. It's going to go up against Vladimir, who you need to shut down early in the game, otherwise he becomes a late game monster. This last pick, I feel, is the most important in this phase right now. And like you can see, the time is ticking down. Tigereye taking as much time as they can.
Now, I was about to say, earlier we saw Artifans hover over Yasuo, and the reason I feel they didn't commit is because they needed to see what else Too Easy brought to the table. They've now seen what else it is, and they're going to commit to the Yasuo. Their response to this, to these long extended team fights, is out and out damage, right? The reason Yasuo can last in the fights is because he is super, super mobile, super slippery, and the whole time he is dishing out damage. He's not able to take it, he is super squishy, but he is so hard to catch.
Yeah, also super important, the Wind Wall will block any projectiles, which is importantly going to be against Sivir and Karma, respectively, right? Blocking out that amount of damage and control from the enemy team in team fights is massive.
It's a sneaky kind of siege as well, because that's the anti-wave clear to deal with OK Tiger pushing turret. So Tigereye, they got a lot of pushing strength here, and a lot of peel potential as well out of Brawler, and I feel like they're going to try and use that to counter out the hard engage that comes from Too Easy, because let's get real, Too Easy have a ton of hard engage.
Yeah, they definitely do. Particularly just the fact that, well, you know, Zac can go in immediately, but followed up by the Shen, right? Throwing out the ultimate on top of him, and then Arkael going in right after. These are really two just solid team comps. They are very clearly defined in what they want to do, and we'll touch on what they want to do in just a moment. But first, as you may well know, there has been a little bit of, shall we say, controversy surrounding the NZGC. A little bit of trash talk.
Yeah, trash talk. To be honest, some comments have been made, and we have caught up with said commenters. Crunch, who did you speak to this week?
A lot of controversy in the NZGC this week, with one player in particular from the Villains, the captain Dolphs, firing shots everywhere, calling multiple teams garbage. I'm here with Too Easy's Cupcake, recently promoted to OPL with Exile 5 in fact, and you guys managed to take out Villains in their first loss in a couple of years. How did that feel?
I mean, it felt great, especially to answer all of their shit talk. I mean, the best way to do that is just to beat them and shut them up. So, I mean, it definitely felt good taking them out.
Game 1, you guys looked like you were coming out ahead. You managed to drop the ball and they came back. Was there anything in particular that going through your guys' heads to reset in Game 2?
Well, to be honest, every single game we snowballed pretty hard early. And it was just mistakes on us that cost us Game 1, and the rest of the games we didn't make as many mistakes. So credit to them for capitalizing on some of those mistakes, but really it was all on us. So yeah, we felt in control the whole time.
So it's only fair. I'm sure you've got a lot to say to the Villains. Have you got any comments there?
The only thing I was disappointed about was the 20 to 30 minute games. I think it should have been 10-minute wins easily. And I kind of feel bad for Kensti because he's trying to carry a bunch of washed up diamonds, but otherwise, yeah.
So you guys think you have what it takes to take their throne then?
Oh, easily, yeah. We're definitely confident.
Some serious shots were fired by Dolphs there, and, you know, just going to tap into, do those words still stand?
honestly, I'm the type of guy that if I say something, it rings true in my head. I don't back down on my words, and I still think all the other teams are garbage. But, you know, we've got some new team members on our team that were previously on other teams that were garbage, so they've got a little bit of trash left in them. But, you know, it's my job to take the trash out and make them into champions.
You are the bad guys. Everyone is out to hunt you down. So, you know, having these strong words, you've got to stick to them, obviously. You're confident heading forward that you're not going to drop any more games then?
I'm confident in myself. My team has still got a lot to work on, but it's my job to lead them. So I'm very confident that we'll actually drop no games, and they will all be 10-minute games at the very least.
All right, and welcome back. You know, with this microphone, I feel like I'm about ready to commentate a boxing match. And we're going to be bringing you all the action here, ringside, blow by blow, for this final game, the decider, the second place bout. A lot on the line here. Winner takes second, loser takes fourth.
Honestly, so crucial, right? There's a huge difference in what second place team gets to move on into the playoffs with, and then fourth team has a much harder path to the grand final. And remember, that's what we're all here for. It's go hard or go home. You want that first place at the end of the day, and the best way to do that is to get second place after this matchup.
It really is. I don't know how many more ways I can say I'm excited, but I am, right? I'm just so pumped here. This is going to be probably one of the greatest matches we've seen in the Hexedome yet. And we're not even in playoffs. We knew how much was on the line, how much would get decided by tonight, but I feel like we didn't really know until we saw that second match go in favor of 2Easy. We now know true and sure how evenly matched these guys are.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit of a fun story as well, because both of these teams came from the major qualifier as well. 2Easy taking out second place and Tigereye taking out third. So when you look at the points and the leaderboard and the qualifier, 2Easy looked like the favored team to win, but Tigereye have really shown that that's not the case at all. They put up a great fight in game one, and even in game two, they looked ahead for the early game.
And of course, it was 2Easy that took down the villains, right? Our returning champions. A lot of people consider them to be one of the most favored teams. Like, yeah, they're still a top 4 team, right? But 2Easy took them down. They've got a lot to their name. They've got a solid kill under their belt at this point. Tigereye, even though they haven't had the same super impressive wins against other top teams, first of all, they nearly took out King 5, right? In our very first match ever, we saw them take a game off them and nearly even take a second game off them.
Almost 2-0.
Yeah, nearly 2-0'd our current winning team. And now they've also taken a game off 2Easy. So, like, on paper, you can't even determine who is the better team here, and they've absolutely proved it now. Both teams have totally showed up.
Honestly, and like I said before, it's all going to be about that bottom side of the map. Blinky and Cupcake, the highly praised superstar duo lane against OK Tiger and Brawler. But the key thing is when the junglers and even the top laners, sometimes the mid laners too, come down and make it a party down there. We saw it in game one, we saw it in game two. Expect to see a bloodbath down there in game number 3.
And it's all gonna be Bomi here for this lineup. Eyes on him. He needs to be proactive. He needs to be quick with the vision. He needs to know what is happening, where it is happening, and he needs to know when, about 2 minutes before, right? He needs to be super switched on. The chess match in the jungle. He needs to be a grandmaster in this game if he wants to win it for his team.
Talking about winning it for your team, let's talk about those win conditions, right? So you've got 2Easy, right? They're looking to just dive into your enemy team, right? They got a little bit of siege, but dive, just like in game 2 with Zach.
Yeah, hard out team fights, all out. And on the flip side of that, 2Easy. They are the anti-everything. They can counter you out, but it is super, super hard. And now we're going to see if they can pull it off as we hit the ref for our decider for our game 3. The battle for second place. Who is going to be able to take this one out as we move in toward our playoffs? Will it be Tigereye or will it be 2Easy?
2Easy looking to crush the hopes of Villains fans and the Villains themselves across the country. Tigereye, though, looking to take it up so they can at least tie second with the Villains. So important for this matchup right now. Both teams going to be playing carefully, but as aggressively at the same time as they can.
I'm super excited. I feel like I've said it 1,000 times now, and I will say it 1,000 more times until you at home understand how exciting this match is. And maybe you too can get excited because this is going to be a doozy.
Absolutely. Both teams, we saw it in game 1 and 2. They're team-fighting teams, right? And the defensive fan out too. But expect to see many kills, many fights, and a lot of aggression right now. Blinky and Cupcake, speaking of aggression, they might start it right away.
We saw them do this in game 1, actually. Got a bit of a sneaky positional advantage over OK Tiger. OK Tiger needs to be careful where he stands because could be a bit of damage coming out onto him. Oh! He's going to be able to back up from it. The heal is there. He's going to be nice and fine. Brawler's got his back. OK Tiger, he just takes a couple of love taps, backs on up. And the vision is going to be there for Blinky and Cupcake. Going to give them a little bit of early game info, but aside from that early excitement, nothing quite going to come of it. No major dramas.
Yeah, although OK Tiger and Brawler, they didn't get the vision down, so they're going to opt to not go for the Grom and not get that early level 2. At the same time, though, 2Easy's bottom lane aren't doing it either, so it's just going to be straight from level 1. But the wave clear is there for Blinky and Cupcake.
Both junglers starting up at the top side of this map. That is going to be red buff for Bomi, blue buff for Rin Toyama. And on standby, we have Arcadian, who's going to talk to us about what these buffs do and what they mean for the junglers at the early point of the game.
Thanks, Pixie. Now, these buffs are incredibly important. They basically give you different effects. The blue buff, which is one of the major buffs, see that little blue line underneath their health bar? That's essentially their fuel resource. That's how they can use their abilities. It's incredibly important to help some junglers who are dependent on their abilities to clear the jungle. The red buff is a little bit fiery. It puts the heat into their auto attacks. It burns the enemy a little bit and adds some extra damage to what they can do. They're incredibly important. Along with that, they also give extra gold and extra experience.
It's actually really crucially important to secure as many of those as you can. Commonly, you'll see both teams take out 2 each.
Yeah, and we're seeing Bomi with that red buff is already going to get to work on the vision game. We talked about how proactive he needs to be. He's just taken away the Rift Scuttler on the top side. That's not something Rin Toyama can answer, so good work there by Bomi. Already leveraging that buff. It's the game of inches, and he has just earned an inch for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. Vision, crucially important. Like you said, the Rift Scuttler gives him that. But at the same time, he's been dropping his wards down. You can see the little red dots on the mini-map. That means Tigereye have vision in those corners of the Summoner's Rift right now, which means they have a key advantage. But Rin Toyama,
yeah, speaking of proactivity, he's going to go, lands right onto OK Tiger Brawler. He's got peel, but how much is it going to be if he doesn't have the bubble? They're going to pile onto OK Tiger, who is burning from Rin Toyama's red buff and drops on down first blood over to 2Easy, making it look too easy. It was Tigereye that needed to be doing that, and well, now they need to answer somewhere.
And you've always got to ward up the river against a Zac. He can come in from so far away, and they paid for it dearly right now. They did burn 3 flashes for that. We talked about the rare fiction. He's in trouble.
Was recalling in the bush on top of a ward. Jack attack goes onto him. The minions aren't dealing the damage yet. He's going to try and look for another one. Does not quite have the abilities up from cooldown, but he wastes rare fiction's time. Gets the minions all to himself, and he's going to try and accrue a bit of a CS lead up there.
Bomi looking to get a positional advantage in the enemy jungle. Does spot out that, well, Rin Toyama, he's already been there right now.
And also, speaking of CS lead, after dying in the bottom lane, OK Tiger found it a little bit hard to farm, so a little bit of a lead over to Blinky. He's going to recall, and the CS will even up in the bottom lane. But in any case, good news there for Blinky, at least for now.
So as I was touching on before, just after that fight happened, 3 flashes were burned. We explained what they were in game 1 just a little bit, but just for a reminder, Ark, how important is Flash?
Flash is incredibly important. It's one of the 2 optional spells that any champion can take, and the ability to move instantly from one point to another can be the difference between a kill or not a kill. It can be the difference between an objective or no objective. It's incredibly useful for many different scenarios.
And with those flashes down, OK Tiger, he needs to be a little bit careful, but Blinky and Cupcake, they need to be even more careful. They lack a bit of the escapability that they crucially need. Ooh, Bomi throws a spear, just barely goes wide on the recalling Rin Toyama, and that means Bomi knows that jungle is unattended. And he's going to use that to get as much vision control as possible. In fact, already you can see the vision control. A solid line of wards you can see on the mini-map. Little triangular looking icons there. Red colored. That means Bomi knows where Rin Toyama is. And Rin Toyama knows such information for himself.
And Bomi just playing the vision game absolutely perfectly. It also means Artifans can play very aggressively in the mid lane, shown by his CS lead. But enough about that. Rin Toyama's back.
It's the one place where there is no vision. OK Tiger just barely throws it down in time, but Brawler, he's going to have to blow a flash to get out of this one. Blows it now, but the root still connects. And a nice bubble just barely keeps him safe. The Fish King himself proving that he is still royalty on that champion.
And despite OK Tiger dying earlier on, he's actually managed to get a CS lead right now. So He's really holding on, definitely playing his heart out. You can see the gold is still even despite 1 kill lead for 2Easy.
Yeah, and a lot of that evening of the gold lead is coming, like you said, in evened up CS in the bottom lane, and now CS advantage for Refiction in the top lane.
All across
on
the
that
map,
tank.
even.
Yeah, it's only slight advantages in some places, but like we said, game of inches. 2Easy. They do have a kill on the board, but Tigereye, they've got some gold in the pocket themselves.
Yeah, Tigereye definitely playing very well. I feel like a lot of that is down to Bomi's vision control. Definitely has to put a little bit more of it around the bottom side of the map so they can catch out Rintoyama, but at the same time, it's allowed Artifans and Refiction to get a nice lead up in their respective lanes.
Artifans, who has already picked up a Hex Drinker as an item, just to give him a little bit more power to go toe-to-toe with Archael.
Of course, nice little bit of magic resist there, allowing him to take a little less damage from the magic damage that Archael is going to be putting out, allowing him to survive the trades and the fights. But you can see on the minimap, Bomi and Artifans are roaming around to control the top side of the map.
Yeah, they're looking for something. Bomi is just there to secure vision, but Artifans was there in case something hairy happened. It's not quite going to happen, but Bomi keeping on top of that vision game. Again, is the positional advantage. Now he's going to cruise on into the jungle, try and maybe get the drop on Jack Attack up here.
Yeah, very, very aggressive, but smart play coming up from Bomi. He's got the mobility to get out of trouble if he needs to, so he's going to be keeping that vision control down.
And Rintoyama seems to be taking the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach as he runs back down to the bottom side. He wants to find another one on OK Tiger and Brawler. OK Tiger's flash is nearly up though, so the window is very, very narrow here for Rintoyama.
Bit of a slow start after that first fight in the bottom lane, but honestly, Rintoyama, like you said, he's looking to go down there again. Has the pink ward.
Oh, he's lining it up.
Knows he's
Oh, Brawler's got to be careful because he's left OK Tiger out to dry, who already takes a chunk, gets bumped to the side. OK Tiger, without that flash, is surely a dead man. He is trying to turn it around, get as much damage as he can, but Blinky, he is not having any of it. There it goes, OK Tiger dropping down. Brawler was able to get out with his life, but now Tigereye again. They have to answer that move by Rintoyama, and Bomi doesn't seem to know where to quite do it.
Artifans, though, he's at half health, can't really contest a whole lot. And Rintoyama, he's hanging around that dragon. Is he actually going to take it solo while the rest of his team keeps the pressure up in the lanes?
Yeah, Artifans trying to keep going toe-to-toe with Archael there. Archael can just sustain back up. And now here is 2Easy. Picking up another one for themselves. It's going to be an Infernal Drake spawning in, and they are kind of uncontested doing this. Bomi, he has to answer it. He's trying to do that by getting a gank at the top side. They're diving onto Jack Attack. They might have the damage. Refiction, he's taken a few shots, and it might be a few too many if he doesn't get up quick. Smart, there he goes. Escapes by the skin of his teeth. Keeps the flash up as well. So they do answer with a kill. The dragon goes down over to 2Easy, but the gold is once again even.
Really important for when team... Oh, Refiction, careful there, buddy. Oh, the heal's there.
Gets a heal from Bomi. That was just barely enough, actually. Oh, no. Okay, he gets the heal.
He's fine. Whew. All right.
That was close.
No, but the important thing is, whenever one team gets an objective, the enemy team needs to get something of their own. They notice aggression on the bottom side of the map, they need to dive the top lane, and that's exactly what we saw Tigereye do. So really good props to them to keep things even, because you can see the gold is even.
It is absolutely dead even. Like we said, Tigereye, they require a lot of finesse to really pull this off. They can counter out just about anything 2Easy try and do, but it is going to require a lot of skill, a lot of mechanical skill. They've got to get the right things down at the right time. They need to get the peel out from Brawler, crucially, when these dives come in. So, Arcadian, talk to us about peel.
Peel is a pretty important concept when you're playing League of Legends because you have those characters who are so important. You've got your quarterback of the team, essentially, those who you rely on to do the damage, to do the work, and to really turn the tides of a battle. But they're not very useful if you've got someone destroying them. You've got to fight in the mid lane here.
Oh, a bit of a skirmish. Archael is going to flash forward for it. Artifans might just go down. Not quite enough damage there as Archael takes a couple of turret shots. Going to be nice and fine now. Here comes Bomi in for the answer. That's the Stand United onto Archael, and Bomi does not quite want to finish it off just yet.
Oh,
Stand United, yeah, gets stopped up by Refiction as the skirmish carries on. But the gank has gone down in the bottom lane already. Rintoyama again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He just keeps returning to this lane, and Bomi has yet to really answer. This time, he's not going to get anything in return. Jack Attack starting to put the hurt onto the top lane, and 2Easy. They're only a little bit ahead, but it might just be enough unless Tigereye finds something quick smart.
Yeah, Tigereye, despite being 3 kills up right now, are ready to take down the mid lane turret, but they've got company coming up from the bottom side of the map.
They're going to commit to this turret as Rintoyama comes flying in. He does not quite get the knock up. The turret, oh, they didn't finish it off. There, they finally get it. Now Bomi in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to get out. Artifans, he's going to deal the damage to Cupcake. Archael is going to be coming in as soon as he can. Artifans turns down the ultimate onto Cupcake, looking to finish him off. He's going in. He gets it. The rocket from downtown as OK Tiger putting the passive state on the Zac. Now they're trying to deal with those blobs. Nice and quick, but the teleport keeps him immune. Artifence is still trying to keep in it. Rintoyama, he's back up. Bomi's trying to make it happen. They do. Now Artifence is back in. He's ducking. He's weaving. RKO with the pull. He does not live through it. Did not get the sustain in time. Jack Attack did take one back in the top lane, but Tigereye, that is how Yasuo does it. He is squishy, but he is a slippery, slippery man.
Honestly, super key thing there right now is Artifence, he's been keeping Vladimir down in the early lane phase, which is the exact way to deal with a champion like that. RKL was late to that fight, arrived too late, and then honestly just died as soon as he got there with the low health. Bomi able to execute him. But look at this.
Yeah.
Siege damage from Jinx is going to rip this turret down.
This is how Tigereye do it, and this is all because of that vision that Bomi has. Look at your minimaps, ladies and gentlemen. On the bottom side of the map, there is a line, a hard, distinct line of red wards all the way from the mid lane that they just took down to that bottom lane. Tigereye absolutely getting the drop on Too Easy there. Now Too Easy, despite some great early moves by Rintoyama, are the ones who need to find the answer.
And Too Easy, they're doing this by sending their duo lane to the top side of the map and looking to siege down the turret.
They got to be careful. Here comes Artifence, though. This could be a collapse to them. Artifence, he's got a ton of damage. Rare Fiction has got the engage between the two there, the dynamic duo. They might be able to find something here. Cupcake Oblique trying to turn it around, trying to get out as Rintoyama comes in to keep them alive, and everything is going to be peachy and rosy for Too Easy.
And the key thing is right now, if you look at the kills for the individual players down on the bottom of the screen, 3 kills for Blinky right now. He's got the most gold on his team. That's where the strength of Too Easy is right now. They need to focus on that, and that's what they're doing.
Okay, Tiger's come up with the rotation. They're trying to go for the dive, but here's Artifence to answer. Okay, Tiger, if he doesn't die quick, this is going to go pear-shaped for Too Easy. Rintoyama pops out the ultimate, but they're in disarray here. Too Easy is Blinky's zoned off to the side. Now it's Rintoyama taking the damage with Bomi hot on the heels. Artifence finds one as well on the side. There's the wave from downtown. Stops up Arkael and catches out the last one. There's another kill. Devil kill for Bomi now as they're hot on Arkael's heels. I think he will be able to get out, but a 3-for-0 is about as good as it gets when you're Tigereye right now. You are already in the lead, and now that lead just got a little bit bigger.
And Blinky, it doesn't matter how much gold you have, how many kills you have, if you just end up getting zoned out of the fight and dying straight away. Jack Attack trying to get some kind of trade on the other side of the map right now, but Rare Fiction is there in time to react.
And really, it's a battle of tanks. We like to call this a wet noodle fight. You ever tried to kill someone with a wet pool noodle? It's about as easy as it sounds.
If you say yes, I'm calling the police. Jesus. Oh my god.
Yeah, and what a bizarre murder weapon. Like, get a knife.
Honestly, okay, so the turret goes down, but importantly, Tigereye pick up what we call the Rift Herald. Well, they haven't done it yet, but he's going down. Now, this is like a mini Baron buff, right?
Correct. The Rift Herald is essentially a Baron buff, but just for one member of the team. And they get to then be a stronger force on our performance enhancers in one lane doing a little bit of work. But we got Bomi in trouble here.
Just going to be able to back
He's fine. And so Rift Herald is think of it like a baby Baron. If no one takes it until the 20-minute mark when Baron arrives, he really just disappears and hides away because Baron is much scarier. But it is a nice little objective to get in the meantime, and it lasts 20 minutes. That's a large portion of the game.
And giving that over to Artifence as well on that Yasuo, he's going to have a whale of a time doing what we call split pushing. He's going to sit off on a side lane. He knows he can go toe-to-toe, can go 1 versus 1 against anyone right now. And with that pushing power, he is always going to be demanding attention out of Too Easy.
And the reason it's so strong is because of demanding that attention, right? As you can see, Dragon spawning on the bottom side of the map, but Yasuo, Artifence, is on the top side of the map. Too Easy now need to answer either the Dragon or Yasuo.
Yeah, and if Too Easy want to commit to the Dragon themselves, then they potentially forego the top turret. But Artifence actually, he wants to come on in for a fight, and he knows it's going to start happening as the Dragon gets started off by Too Easy. Bomi's already in the fight, actually taking a bit of damage. He's zoned out now. It's not the engage they want. They need to try and get into it fast. They've delayed it now, and Artifence is able to arrive. Bomi, he's fishing for it. Rare Fiction is already in the middle. They're split up Too Easy, and now they're going to go for it as Artifence dives on in. They're on to Arkael first. The Stand United is there, and a nice big shield, but it is not enough as he drops down. And now the rest of Too Easy, 4 versus 5 numerical disadvantage for themselves as Tigereye. They have complete control of this Dragon, and they pick up 1 for themselves.
And Tigereye, they might have lost the bottom side of the map, but they are commanding everywhere else. They pick up the first Dragon, evening it up. It's an Infernal Drake. That's the team fighting Dragon with the percentage boost to damage. And now look at the positional advantage. Dropping wards, getting vision, claiming turf.
Bomi has been an absolute wizard with that vision this game. He's kept it up all game long for his team, and they've used it masterfully. Like we said, this team got required a lot of finesse of execution, and Bomi has allowed it to happen with his vision control. It's like they have an encyclopedia open on everything the enemy team wants to do.
Now, really crucially, you can actually see the 3 items lined up in a row. Those are 3 Spirit Visages on 3 members of 2Easy right there. One of the best items for resisting magic damage. But look at Tigereye's team composition. Yasuo from the mid lane does physical damage. They have a hyper carry in the AD carry for Jinx. The only magic damage is really coming from Bomi. That's how much of a threat 2Easy sees Bomi.
Well, and that is a Bomi with 4 kills, no deaths, and 3 assists, a ton of gold in his pocket. He's already picked up an Athene's Unholy Grail as well to give himself a bit more magic power. And he is a bit of an executioner right now as well. He's able to fish for damage with those spears, get that crucial poke that Arcadian was talking to us about before. And with that, it makes it super hard for 2Easy to really commit to these fights. And yeah, Jack Attack might be in trouble here. Bomi's going to fish for it. Doesn't find that one.
Yeah, and he knows he can safely move down that side of the map because of the vision they claimed before. But Rintoyama's got in!
He absolutely has. How many times have we seen this? It's Brawler and OK Tiger. They're getting picked on this game. And now Brawler going alive with the 2. With OK Tiger down, there is now a window of opportunity for 2Easy with the numerical advantage to try and find something. They do have to keep sending someone up to deal with artifacts, but they still have an advantage elsewhere, and maybe it's going to be the mid turret.
And really importantly as well to touch on, Brawler is the shot caller for the team right now. It might be OK Tiger dying every time, but Brawler is always under pressure. So 2Easy focusing down the brains of the team.
Rintoyama goes flying on in. Bomi, he's not so immobile as OK Tiger. He does not quite get caught out by that one. And now here's going to be a collapse onto Artifans that it seems they're looking for. Artifans is in a bit of trouble, and he knows it too because the wards are there. Rintoyama hot on his heels now goes flying on in. Artifans is going to be able to walk out safely now. The rest of Tigereye are here, maybe to turn this into a fight if 2Easy wants it. Now the team is going to take it, and Tigereye, they're happy with that one. Still 4,000 gold in the lead here.
Tigereye, they've already got all 3 outer turrets down, and that's probably where most of the gold is actually coming from. They have a healthy CS lead in a lot of the lanes, but it's really key to look at Artifern's items he's picked up. 2 completed items, one of them countering out the large amount of magic damage coming out from 2Easy. He is honestly, even though Bomi has 4 kills, I would say Artifern's is the biggest threat on the team.
Yeah, well, and Artifern's has 3 kills himself, actually, so like you said, a huge threat. And we talked about how he could go toe-to-toe with anyone in any one of those side lanes, and that's something Tigereye is certainly looking to leverage here.
Also, especially due to the fact that all magic resist right now. Not a single point of armor has been picked up. And here he goes!
Yeah, here he goes indeed. They tried to deal with him, but he's the one who's going to deal to them. Again, a Stand United committed, did not finish up the channel, and now in that passive state, this is a dead Zac for sure. Brawler actually finding that one as now Artifans keeps on. The pressure goes on to Blink, he finds him. Now they're looking for Cupcake, zoned off to the side. OK Tiger, he's trying to keep up the pressure, and Bomi is the one who picks it up with the burn from the red buff. And now they're going to take down the next turret for themselves. 2Easy. They don't look like they can quite get into position for any of these fights that Tigereye are finding.
And even though 2Easy have a large amount of diving potential, so do Tigereye. With the Nidalee and the Yasuo, they're so far ahead in their respective roles, they can go in like this.
They're going to crack the base. Jack Attack, he knows he could be a dead man if he's not careful. Artifans, he wants to keep up the pressure. They're already wailing on the inhibitor as well. 2Easy, wow. Tigereye taking an inch, taking a mile.
19-minute inhibitor. That is one of the quickest we've seen in the NZGC. They're turning around.
RKL, he tried to commit to it because the rest of the team is respawned, but now he's dead. The rest of the team is there. They might be able to do it, actually. Rintoyama keeping it in, keeping on the pressure, but OK Tiger's untouched. Jack Attack in the back line onto Artifans. He still can't deal with him. They fight Blinky. OK Tiger doing so much work before he finally dies. Cupcake, he is forced to flash back into space as the rest of the team just cleans house. And a second one team fight back to back. What else can Tigereye find? 2Easy, they could not afford to lose that.
Tigereye, 15 kills to 6 kills. That's a 9,000 gold lead. That is massive before 20 minutes in right now. They've got the inhibitor down in the mid lane. Super minions will now pressure that lane for another 5 minutes, and that's really important as the Baron here spawns right now. They can pressure that while the minions do their work for them.
Tigereye, after 2 close first 2 games. Tigereye taking 1, 2Easy taking 2. Now Tigereye, they just look like the dominant force in this game 3. Right from the word go. Rintoyama made some fancy moves, but Bomi, he was all over that Vision game, and it has paid dividends for them here. Like you said, 9,000 gold in the lead. Tigereye, they want to start closing it out. 2Easy though. There is a window for them to get back into this. What is that window, Snipe?
There is a window right now, and it is the engaging, but particularly RKL needs to get ahead, but he's been shut down so hard by Artifans. And also, I'd really recommend Too Easy get some points of armor. You can see that Jack Attack and Rintoyama are picking up some armor, but honestly, our defense has been slicing through the enemy team right now. It's crazy.
And Vladimir, that drain tank, he's able to sit fights for so long. What he does is he basically steals your health. Takes away from you, gives it to himself. If you don't kill him quick, smart, he is going to chip you away over time. And it's something both of these mid laners have sort of favored so far.
Yeah, and just exactly what Tigereye is doing right now is getting all the gold onto their key carries. Bomi on Nidalee, Artiferns on Yasuo. All their gold is focused there, and that's exactly what Tigereye is doing right. Getting all the gold on the damage, and it's different types of damage too. Magic and physical, which means it's very hard to itemize against.
Yeah, of course. Physical damage, you build armor. Magic damage, you build magic resist, but you're dealing with both. You can't really build both of those resistances in
coming
one
up
go.
to the flank.
Yeah, Refiction, he's trying to set up for something here, and Jack Attack, he can answer with a Stand United, but he's going to have to do that well. They pop the On the Hunt, then, well, actually, not the On the Hunt, sorry, the Karma. The Empowered E to give the team a big bad speed boost. Actually, Refiction might be a little bit zoned out.
It doesn't matter. Super minions are pushing down that middle lane. Too Easy need to do something now. Give up the turret, make a team fight, doesn't matter. They can't let the super minions keep going.
They want to find it. It's going to be committing onto Rare Fiction. The rest of the team is going to be here for the claps. RKL, he's going to try and do what he can to the mid ground here. Rare Fiction, he's already low. They might be able to take him down. Jack Tech goes deep. They're looking for something, but Tigereye looking to get something back now. RKL does find one. They're looking to retreat into the base now. They're zoning out our defense on the side. They might be able to close off. RKL, oh, he gets turned around upon, but there's the Stand United. No, it's not enough because Bomi's already cleaned it up. Now they find Rintoyama again. The numerical advantage here. It is a 4 versus 3 as they close in on the base. They're going to finish off that top turret now and get even closer to the Nexus.
And fight after fight, Tigereye have come out on top every single time, getting more and more of a gold lead, allowing them to win the fights easier and easier. And because they've 10,000 gold lead right now, 22 minutes into the game, they've just won a fight. The minions are now in position to start taking down this turret. Rintoyama and RKL are just respawning in the base now.
And even if they get to this fight in time, I don't know that they can win a Blanky. Woo! Dying on the back end, that is so crucial because as the rest of the team respawns, he goes down and the numbers advantage is still there for Tigereye. They're looking to even catch Cupcake if they can. They can't quite. He is going to back out the delicious morsel that he is, but another turret has dropped down. Tigereye fighting more kills, fighting more structures, fighting more and more advantages. Now they're looking to zero in on this Baron.
Artiferns. Such a key character in this matchup right now. Almost gets his back cancelled there. But the fact is he's 5-0 and 10, has just about 3 items completed.
Oh, hold on a second. No, they're not quite able to commit. Bomi, it looked like he was completely caught out, but they just sort of decided, no, let's not commit to this one. Let's back one out.
Yeah, but honestly, so key on both Bomi and Artiferns right now. That's the key to victory that Tigereye have unlocked so far. They haven't quite got it yet, but they are honestly minutes away from a victory if they play all their cards right. It's a landslide right now.
A landslide indeed, and a landslide that you can bet your bottom dollar the villains are pretty happy about because, you know, like we said, if this one goes Tigereye's favor, they tie for second with the villains. Too Easy walk away with the humble 4th place there, given the 2nd place tie. And now Rare Fiction keeping up the pressure in the bottom lane as the super minions flood down the middle. Tigereye, they are tightening the noose.
It's been such a snowball of a game right now. Honestly, I mean, what does snowball actually mean?
Snowballing is the definition of getting a small lead, like a small snowball on a hill, and then rolling and gaining momentum, pushing through, taking those tiny advantages and using those to grab other tiny advantages, and continue to doing that until you end up being an unstoppable force, which is what Tigereye look like right now.
It is certainly not over yet, though. They're looking for it. They might have finally found it. They've gone on to Bomi and Brawler, who are both squishy men, but Artiferns now he's in the fight. Back onto Blinky. He has a Stand United on him. They're trying to find something. Jack Attack is in. He's looking for Brawler. They can't quite close it out, though. And here's OK Tiger untouched, doing all the damage. Bomi sneaking off away. They get the passive state out of Zach, and the damage is still there from OK Tiger. He's done it to clean it up. He's getting low, but he's got a double. He's got a triple. He's got a quadra kill. Can they do it? Can they get the last one? Cupcake, he's running away for dear life. He does not want to give that pentakill over to OK Tiger. But OK Tiger, he doesn't even need that jewel in the crown because that could be the quadra that makes the game. The minions are starting to flood into the base, and OK Tiger is right there with him. Here's the damage on the champions. Here's the damage on the turrets. Tigereye look like they're about to take it out.
Can Cupcake hold it? I honestly would be surprised.
There's no
it's
way.
Gonna take a miracle.
There's no way at all. He's under the turret. Is the timer there? Oh, the ace, it goes over to Bomi. It's not quite the pentakill, but Tigereye, they don't even care. It is going to be the win. Instead, OK Tiger, the namesake of the team, gets turret number 1.
Oh, they're
turret
backing out.
Oh, Rintoyama, yeah, they are backing out because Jack Attack is back up. Blinky, ooh, Tigereye. They're just going to back out. They're going to win it another day because they know they can. Too easy. They have a glimpse, a glimmer of hope here, but can they even turn it into anything?
Of course, we are only 25 minutes into the game. Death timers mean you respawn a little bit sooner than you would 10 minutes later on, which is why Too Easy were able to come back in time. But right now, they have what we call a naked nexus. No turrets defending it. If any member of Tigereye wanted to, they could sneak into the base and end the game right there. Too Easy need to keep vision around their base and need to keep bodyguards, honestly.
Yeah, like a businessman in the Panama Papers, that nexus is exposed right now.
Right,
really, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And there's just about any number of members on Tigereye that could just walk right on in and muscle that one down quick, smart. OK Tiger could do it. Artifans could do it. Even Bomi could do it. And that means Too Easy always have to keep one eye open on that Nexus as they keep one eye on Tigereye, who are going to be looking for that winning fight. Too Easy looking to see if they can get the one that starts the turnaround for themselves. It is a difficult thing for them to do. I don't know if they can pull it off, but I'll tell you, stranger things have happened.
Too Easy, though, have to commit right now. They've got the Shen to bring them in, but they can't let Tigereye get the Baron. They're smartly taking it carefully, but they only have a limited amount of time, and it's gone.
They've got to commit. It's gone already, and now they finally commit. Rintoyama getting onto the backside. We're going to see what RKL can do in the fight. This time, though, Jack Attack has got onto OK Tiger, but he hasn't got the help. OK Tiger's already muscled him out, and now the rest of the team can't last. They've finally got the tank on in, but Artifans has already taken out Rintoyama. Jack Attack, he is too low, and he is the tankiest member. RKL, that sustain tank, the drain tank. Whoa! But he's now going to have to be the main tank as the other tank drops on down. RKL is still alive, but the rest of his team is not. They finally find one back on the board, though. They have finally dropped off OK Tiger on the backside, and RKL, he might be able to do it. The minions are starting to push on in, though. Bomi and Artifans limp away. They need to recall nice and fast here, RKL and Blinky. And even then, Artifans and Bomi could just muscle down the base.
Yeah, they're moving in Too Easy. They're coming back from the brink of death right now. But honestly, Blinky needs to get back, clear those super minions. They're swarming onto the Nexus right now. He's running. Go, Blinky, you've got to survive.
He's going for it, but the Nexus is being hammered away at. Rintoyama is there to try and respond. Look at how much damage the super minions do just to that. Here's the rest of the team for it now, and now Too Easy. They barely won that fight. Now they're going to have to win another one on their doorstep, and there are still 2 members of Tigereye with a Baron buff. It is dire straits for Too Easy.
And a Guardian Angel picked up a Rare Fiction as well. He's respawning right now as well. He knows the next team fight is the most important right now. Bomi with his Zonia's Hourglass going to be able to survive easier in the next team fight. Tigereye pulling out all the stops, and with a 14,000 gold lead, it's going to take a miracle for Too Easy to come back from this absolute avalanche of a game for Tigereye.
A miracle indeed. Like I said before, stranger things have happened. And this is the day for something strange, but Tigereye looking to play it clean, looking to play it good, closing in.
Look at the kills. Look at the gold right now. Such a massive lead for Tigereye. It's going to be so hard for Too Easy to come back right now. And honestly, after Game 1, Game 2, both dead even for most of it, Tigereye have been steamrolling Too Easy right now. They're going to have to bring everything they've got, about 5 fights in a row.
Will the game even go that long? Tigereye, they're slowly narrowing in. Now they're getting on to those last few turrets standing. They're going to play it nice and easy, by the book, taking their time. They have the Baron buff. They might as well use it. They're going to close in on these turrets. Make sure it is impossible for Too Easy to get even one of those fights, let alone 5. Rintoyama is going to charge up the bounce. He's looking for it. They go on in. They're trying to get onto OK Tiger, but they can't. He's already backed off, and the peel is there for Broiler with the wave. Rintoyama already taking the damage. Not defense goes in. Fights 3. Knocked up, dropped down. RKL to follow as OK Tiger is just cleaning house again untouched. They find the next one. They find the next one, and now they're going to find the Nexus as they get the first turret down. There is nothing left here for Too Easy. Tigereye, they slay the giant Slayers. What does that make them? Who cares? They are the victors. And 2-1 to Tigereye. They tie for second place.
And Villains fans in the crowds at home rejoice as now there is a chance for the defending champions to move into the playoffs with the 2nd seed. Tigereye, though, have that same shot as it is going to be a tiebreaker. But honestly, in the Hexedome, the first series to go to a 3rd game, and Tigereye brought everything they had in Game 3, and it paid off.
And this was a series absolutely deserving of that 3rd game. Too Easy, who took down the Villains. Tigereye, who nearly took it to King 5. These are 2, like we said, evenly matched teams, and now we've shown just which one is ever so slightly better. And Tigereye are going to carry that torch right the way through playoffs. You can guarantee it. They are now looking to be hot contenders to topple King 5 for good, as they currently sit at the top of the scoreboard. Any final thoughts on that match?
To have a better series for the last match of the group stage, I couldn't have asked for. That was great, and I'm going to go out and personally thank all the players. What a great series they brought. Honestly, amazing, and could not have been a more interesting finish either.
Absolutely fantastic. I am absolutely blessed to have been able to witness that game, let alone cast over it. Fantastic series, and of course, congratulations to Tigereye. That is all from us here at the desk. We're going to hand it back to Dwan.
Yeah, thanks very much, boys. And what a way to go out. That's the first time that we've seen an absolute decider in the Hexedome. Tigereye get it done. Awesome. Well done to Tigereye. But, you know, the major thing about it was the fact that Tigereye could have rolled over. There could have been a whole bunch of other things that go their way. And what they've actually done is allowed Villains to come back in the Hexedome and go to the major final, right? So,
yeah, I mean, who would have thought that that would be the case? Honest to gosh. Like, Villains being able to come out of this, like, not having a 2-0 in the series, it's huge.
It's huge. So obviously Villains and Dolphs, everyone at home, they would have been watching that. Dolphs and the Villains will be back in the Hexedome next week for the major final. But unfortunately for Too Easy, it was tough for them. They're a great team. We're going to catch up with Blinky, who's the captain of Too Easy. Look, I think that it was tough in the Hexedome for you. Blinky, sorry about the loss, mate.
That's all right.
Look, you're still not gone. It was in your, it was all in your favour, but unfortunately, you guys are going to go to sudden death this week. Yep. Where did it go wrong for you guys?
So we never really planned for the Yasuo pick, but they also have a relevant jungler who's challenger, unlike Villains, so it made it a little bit harder.
Yeah, and that Game 3, you started with so much momentum coming off Game 2. There was an obvious, clear miscommunication, or was it the nerves? Something went wrong. Can you identify exactly what was happening in your team there?
So a lot of the time we believe we could catch them and out-damage them straight away, but they had a lot of healing from Nidalee and Nami, which made us overcommit to a lot of fights, and we just cracked.
No.
But we also want more screen time so that we can verse Villains again, because if they get knocked out before we get there, then where's the fun?
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, mate, look, unlucky for this, but like you said, for everyone at home, you guys aren't gone. You're into the sudden death. Yep. Thank you for giving us a Game 3. We haven't had one in the Hexedome. And look, you're fantastic, as were your team, but it just wasn't be tonight. So good luck, regroup with the team, and we will see you back in the playoffs later on. Thanks very much. There you go, guys. Look, we'll quickly grab, we're not too far away from grabbing the winning captain and brawler. Look, too many easy mistakes. You talked about it at the top, and I feel that's where, unfortunately, it went wrong for those guys. They had it, they just couldn't execute.
Yeah, we saw them come out so strong on that bot lane. They were just trying to get Blinky ahead. But as you said, there was just they tried to bite off a little bit more than they could chew.
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, we do have Brawler, the captain. He'll be in a jovial mood. Let's have a chat to Brawler. Hey, congratulations, mate. Well done. Look, shot calling was fantastic tonight, and you basically kept the team in the mix. Even early on in Game 3, you stayed with it, and then obviously it was a landslide.
Yeah, I think that was a large part of my fault in Game 2, whereas the shot calling, we took a lot of fights that we shouldn't with the scaling comp that we had. But we kind of executed it really, really well in Game 3, where we took the fights that we know we could win, and then late game we can just roll over them with the picks that we've got.
And the other thing is you were versing arguably one of the best or the best bot lane with two OPL players going into the next round. How does it feel to know that you and your duo took on a professional duo and came out on top?
Well, I think that we're probably the best bot lane in the tournament, obviously. But even with the huge amount of jungle pressure that they had at bot, like the Zach cam bot 5 or 6 times, we still managed to come out on top, and we still managed to have even CS with the scaling pick. So that's, I mean, we're not scared of anyone bot lane in this tournament.
Well, look, I just want to say to you, and on behalf of obviously Villains, They are going to come back in the major. Unfortunately, even though you had a fantastic win, and congratulations on that, you will have to regroup. You have to go on a sudden death. But from what we saw tonight, you guys are in a good position to do that. Good luck. Congratulations on tonight, and we shall see you, hopefully, at the live final on October the 12th. But again, it starts with this weekend in sudden death. So thank you very much, Brawler, and congratulations to you and Tigereye. We'll catch you up later on. Gentlemen, look, excellent from Tigereye. Again, they could have rolled over. We keep talking about that because really, after not getting to the 2-0, that's really where they could have just said, look, whatever, right? But again, Tigereye got it done. Shot calling was fantastic. Excellent to them, right?
We've said that it's never happened before that a team has got up from a loss in their Hexedome and come back. And tonight it happened twice. We had Tigereye win the first game, Too Easy come in, and they came back into the game, got the momentum, and then Tigereye said, no, we can do that too. And they came in and then turned out winning the series. It was great.
It was great. And look, for everybody at home, this is a monster week in esports and the New Zealand Gaming Championships. Let's have a look. It is now sudden death playoff time. And it is also a major final coming up as well next week in the Hexedome. So Saturday, Tigereye, who we just saw win, go up against the Code in a sudden death eliminator. Sunday, Too Easy with the loss now drop down into the sudden death eliminator against Team DNA. But the big one, back in the Hexedome, King 5 versus the Villains by way of Tigereye getting the win, monster inside the Hexedome. We look forward to that. For everyone at home, what that really means is that King 5, as the #1 qualifier, Villains by way of Tigereye winning, get one more match, and that team goes straight to the live final at the Idea Collective at Motat on October the 12th, where everybody wants to be. So it's going to be huge, right?
The #1 contender versus the returning champion.
Yeah, that's right. Well, look. Quickly before we wrap up for everyone at home, looking forward to next week's matchup with King 5 versus Villains. It's going to be a monster, right?
Oh, absolutely. That is going to be such a good match. Villains back to take the throne from King 5, the minor premiers. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, well, that's it. So thank you very much for everybody at home that has tuned in to New Zealand Gaming Championships. That was the last match, the first time in the Hexedome that we have gone to 3 matches. But we are now at the business end of the tournament. Next week, it is about sudden death, and it is also about the major final as we march towards a winner and claim to be the League of Legends champions, New Zealand Gaming Champs for 2016. So be back here on Sky Sport on Wednesday next week as we bring you all the action from within the Hexedome. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Everyone at home, good night.
The NZGC is a production of Let's Play Live and brought to you by Logitech G, Twitch, Playtech, Adina Hotel, and all our fantastic technology and media partners.